John and Jim on a Monday. The reality of the offseason setting in.
We're in the
Padres
offseason now, baby.
And you hate when it comes in early October. Listen, for some teams it came in June. Like Colorado came in April. So, like, you know,
Colorado came in February.
It's better than some, but it's not what the hope was. We're going to catch up on the Padres with Annie Halbert. She'll join us at 3 p.m. We'll put a bow on the year. Andre Agverdian covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. He's been with us a couple of times this year. He'll join us at 2:30. Will Brinson on what week was it? Week 4 in the NFL?
Week 5.
Was this week 5?
Yes.
This thing's flying by.
We're in week 5.
This thing's flying by.
We're in week 5 already. Yeah.
Will Brinson will join us at 4:30. I had this. Here's the thing with the Padres, that as disappointing as the ending was, and also I'll give you another thing that's disappointing. You end the way you end, and then the Dodgers, as we sit here today, are probably the favorite to win the World Series. So, like, think about that. Last year, it ends the way it ends, and then the Dodgers, because they beat you, were basically favorite to win the World Series. Like, yeah, it's not a great start to the offseason. I was having a text exchange this weekend, though. We should recognize, you said it in your update, we are in a city where SDFC is in first place in the Western Conference. We are in a city where San Diego State football has had a resurgence. San Diego State basketball is going to be preseason top 25. The expectations have been as high as they've been in a long time. Well, they're always high, but you get the point. So, yes, we put a lot of eggs in the Padres basket, and we will recognize this over the course of the show. But with the SDFC season, who knows? They could be a favorite to win the MLS Cup. With San Diego State 4-1, a resurgent year to this point, there's still work to be done. And then basketball coming in a month for SDSU. There's a lot of good. Again, there's the disappointment of how this played out with the Padres. There's still a lot of good going on in the city with sports right now.
A lot of good. And even though the Padres season came to a crashing end,
it did.
It wasn't like they won 65 games this year.
Exactly.
You know, like they won 90 games. They made the postseason. SDFC, like you said, and I had in the update, set a record for expansion team wins this year with their win over Houston this past weekend. Also setting a record for points scored in a season by an expansion team at 60. San Diego State's 4-1. They're averaging 40 points per game at home this year. And San Diego State basketball, you're right, top 25, top 15 to start the season. And they have pretty lofty goals for this year. So the sports landscape in San Diego, it's really good right now. Padres, good. San Diego State football right now, good. San Diego State basketball, good. Soccer, SDFC, good. Like, you got a lot of good things happening in this town with sports. It's just, you know, when the top dog, which is the Padres in this town, have some pretty lofty goals for themselves, and their season comes crashing to a halt. Like, there was no runway for the end of this year. Like, there was no, hey, let's land this thing. It might be a little bit of a bumpy ride, but we'll land it. We'll, you know, the runway. We'll have a nice runway to just ease our way into the. Nope, it's over. Like, it just ends like that.
And the thing that you pointed this out to me, that, you know, Kevin puts his bow on the season. Kevin Acer, Padres Insider, and he writes about the payroll and what it could be in 2026. I didn't think of it this bluntly. Their 2023 payroll was $256 million. $256 million.
That's a lot of money.
Okay. Yeah. Their 2024 payroll, which was what, last year, was in the 220s.
No, 2025 payroll.
Yeah, I'm trying to. What was their 2025 payroll in the 220s?
I was in the 220s. Yeah.
And now Kevin's running. Well, we don't know what it's going to be. It could be 190 or lower.
And with the money that's coming off the books,
which is a ton,
which is about 60 million, they have roughly 160 million committed to next year's team. So it's like, it's crazy. Last week, it was all Padres Cubs, game 3. We'll get into, you know, decision making in a little bit here. Interesting things said by Jake Peavy over the weekend on MLB Network about that decision. But it was Cubs Padres decision, stars need to show up. And then you come to Monday here on October 6th, and it's like payroll and offseason and what moves are they going to make? And is AJ Preller going to be here? Even though AC says emphatically that he will be. Like, it's just such a quick turnaround from where we were at literally just 1 week ago.
No, 100%. And like, there's things like, is AJ Preller going to speak? He's still in charge moving forward.
Yeah,
right?
I haven't gotten the email about when he's going to speak.
Is John Seidler going to speak? He has so rarely, if ever, done that. But here's the number. 256 in 2023, $211 million payroll this year. And then Kevin writes later in this article that, but for now, the Padres project to be easily under 190 million with fewer holes to fill than they had a year ago. Oh, maybe for now they project to be easily under 190, Jim. That doesn't mean they project a $190 million payroll.
No.
Because the money that's coming off.
Well, the money's coming off. They're around 160.
But does that mean that he's saying he projects them to still be under 190 with fewer holes, or because of the money coming off, they're easily under 190 right now?
No, the money coming off, they're about 160 right now.
And he's saying they get back to 190 potentially or less?
Yeah, because they're going to need to spend some money here to fill the holes that they have on this roster.
Well, explain this to me like I'm 6. Why would you go from 211 to 190?
I don't know, John.
They just had 3.4 million fans, the most in the history of the franchise, right? They just had 72 sellouts, the most in the history of the franchise. Why would you drop payroll?
Here's
$20 million.
Here's what Kevin wrote. The Padres' current commitments for next year is around 166 million for the players they have under long-term contracts, plus the buyouts on options for 4 players. Their 8 arbitration-eligible players are likely to cost them around $20 million. It is considered a virtual certainty that Suarez opts out. King declines his portion for the mutual option on his deal, and the Padres do not pick up options on Elias Diaz, Kyle Hart, and Tyler Wade. The buyouts on King, Hart, Diaz, and Wade total around $6.3 million.
Okay.
So look, I think, and you can read it later, but like the general consensus here is still that the payroll, which was the number one question heading into last year, is either it's going to be around the same next year, or it's going to be lower than it was. Well, one thing that I'm pretty certain in is that it's not going up, right? It's not going from 211 back to 256 or from 211 to 246. The general consensus, I think people can agree on here, and we've been proven wrong, so maybe it's different, is that the payroll for next year's team, with the holes that they have, it ain't going up much. And if anything, it's probably going down a little.
Yeah, he's not writing, though, that their payroll next year is going to be 190. Because if it's 166 committed and 20 million for arbitration, that's 186. So you already have 186 tied up. He's not projecting 190 million.
That's what it means. Yeah.
That's what it means. It was that was hard to fully understand. But if they had a 211 last year, I guess what I'm saying is if they've got 186 tied up, 166 plus 20 million arbitration, that still gives you 25 million in wiggle room. But I agree, it's not like they're going from 211 to 311 like they're the Mets or the Dodgers. But with the holes that they're going to have, last year they didn't spend anything. If you think about it, it was February before they committed any dollars to Nick Pivetta. Everything was like 1 million here, 1 million there. And then they struck for Pivetta, and that had a higher AAV. But I mean, I think heading into 2026, there's actually more holes than heading into 2025. They didn't do anything. They didn't address any holes in 2025. Now you have multiple starting pitchers coming off the books. That's more holes to me, not less.
They have a rotation that is going to be Nick Pivetta, a guy that just came off Tommy John.
Yeah.
Potentially a guy that is washed in Darvish, excuse me. Randy Vasquez, JP Sears. Okay.
Yeah. Like that's more holes to me, not less.
You need a first baseman. You need a DH, potentially. You know, you're going to have Gavin Sheets be your everyday DH. All right. You need bench pieces. You got to figure out what you're going to do with some other guys. Look, all those things we have
5 months.
5 months to talk about. I think the biggest question right now is like, what's the deal with Preller, man? What's the deal with AJ? When's he going to speak? That's going to be, for Padres fans and for us, must listen to. Like, whatever he speaks, whatever he says, must listen to AJ Preller.
Mm-hmm.
What's his future look like? Do they give him a contract extension or not? What does the organization do with him is the number one story until we find that out, which, you know, my guess is that has to happen pretty quickly.
Has to. I mean, in professional sports, like business, like things happen expedited. I would assume they wrap up the season in some capacity. AJ Preller is going to meet with ownership in some capacity, and then you make a determination on how to start your offseason. But when did the season end? Thursday?
Yeah.
So you've had a couple of days, but I mean, I'd be shocked if there wasn't someone speaking on behalf of the organization this week. Your season ended last week.
There has to be. There has to be.
It ended. So like now you Now you put a bow on it, and now you look ahead.
You've already had other teams that have got eliminated last week speak to the media
Yep.
and have their general managers talk about, the offseason and the past season. There should be something here pretty quickly about, hey, he's going to talk on Wednesday, or hey, he's going to talk on
And it probably
Thursday. It will.
Yep.
But still, the more silence there is from the organization, you have to kind of think a little bit about it.
Yeah,
Can't help but creep it in your mind.
That's the one thing with this organization. And they've won at a good clip, obviously, here this decade, and they've had the ownership change. But man, you can go forever without hearing from anyone. I mean, I even go back to August 1st when we heard from AJ Preller about the trade deadline. And that was among the last public comments he had. I know he spoke with Marty in some capacity in a dugout. But in terms of like the entire media available to AJ Preller or anyone from the Padres hierarchy of ownership, it's a couple times a year right now where Peter, and maybe it was a unique style, Peter would speak. Peter would speak publicly much more often. I mean, John spoke on television like for a half inning 6 months ago, never spoke with the entirety of the media. So it's a lot of like radio silence with the organization from Peter's passing until today. There have not been a lot of moments where the organization has spoken with the media. There haven't.
No. And the great thing about Peter is, like, he was so accessible. You could talk to him almost anytime he was around. He was available almost 24/7 for people in the media. Like, that's just who Peter was. And with John now in charge, the communication from the organization, it's just it's got to be better. It has to be better. And whenever AJ speaks, I'm curious to hear what he says, man, because a lot of it's going to revolve around his future. It has to. A lot of it's going to revolve around, hey, have you talked to John about a contract extension? Or is the organization waiting and telling AJ not to speak so they can maybe resolve this?
I would have it resolved. Like,
you have to.
Just a statement on his future. Hey, AJ Preller has been, I'm making it up, extended through 2027. Has been given a 1-year extension. 2 days later, he speaks with the media. Because now it's been resolved. I mean, hey, what's the status of your future with the organization? Well, I'm signed through 2027.
I'd be like, hey, AJ, and I know AJ would just give a filibuster answer, and he wouldn't answer it. He wouldn't answer it at all. But hey, AJ, with the organization having you on a 1-year deal so far, when your contract expires for 2026, like, do you want to be here? Like, do you want to be here if you are going to go into next season not with a contract extension? What's your feeling on that? Now, he wouldn't answer the question, but at the same time, that's, I think, a legitimate thing to ask somebody when you've taken this team, or at least you've built a roster that has been in the postseason 3 of the last 4 years, and they haven't given you a contract extension, even though you've made a postseason in back-to-back seasons for the first time since the early 2000s and back-to-back 90-win years when that's never happened in franchise history before, and yet you still aren't given a contract extension here? Interesting.
And I thought it was an odd look a couple years ago when he had to speak, and he's like, oh yeah, Bob Melvin's still our manager. And then like 2 days later, he wasn't. So like, you should have your ducks in a row if you're an organization before you speak with the media about your offseason. We'll hear from Jake Peavy coming up on the Padres Game 3 decision to start Yu Darvish over Michael King. Andre Hagverdian, will join us coming up at 2:30 East Village Times. We'll talk about San Diego State's big win over Colorado State. We'll look ahead to this week. The Aztecs go back on the road. Can they take this show, all the success at home, with them on the road? Stay with us, Sean and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Listen for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to Hallow Scream at SeaWorld San Diego this year. New horrors awaken. 5 haunted houses, Jim. 8 terrifying scare zones.
Ooh,
Hidden speakeasies.
spooky.
And the shrills of coasters after dark.
Wow.
They run select nights now through November 1st. Get tickets now at SeaWorld.com/San Diego. We'll go this fall. We'll do that, guys.
No, we won't.
We'll hit that up. We're going to, the 3 of us are going to
We're
that
not hitting that up.
this fall.
We're not doing that.
Let's go Saturday night.
You know, I'm not saying we're not doing it because I don't want to go to some spooky thing. It's
But you're saying I'm saying we're going to do it and then we won't do it?
100%.
Yeah.
We're still
Like
waiting.
everything.
We're still waiting to go see the Batman.
What's the Batman? You mean Batman?
No, that's a different movie. We can go watch that too if you want.
Sure, we can watch that if you
Do
want.
you want to go see the Major League Baseball with me?
Well, there's a movie called Major League, but
But it's not called The Major League.
it doesn't matter.
But this movie is called The Batman.
Yeah, it is called The Batman.
Do you want to rehash game 3? And the decision to start you Darvish over Michael King? I mean, we can't go back in time, right?
No, we
Michael
can't.
King over you Darvish.
But I feel like this is the last day we can like actually maybe.
It's been 3 days. But we've
Talk
only had
about
2
it.
shows.
Yeah.
So we'll hear from Jake Peavy in a second. But do you want to rehash the decision?
Hey,
I'm happy to do it.
I am too. If you want, if you,
I mean, was it staring us in the face that Michael King should have started over you Darvish? Is my question.
here's the thing: is like, do we know for certain that Michael King was fully healthy?
Only threw an inning.
And he only threw 2 2/3 innings on Saturday, the final regular season start for him.
Mm-hmm.
And when he came back, he didn't make a start past 5.
Yeah,
Got lit up in New York against the Mets.
that was terrible.
Then he pitched in Chicago and he was okay, I think.
Yeah, against the White Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And then Saturday against the Diamondbacks, and it was 2 2/3.
Yeah, he was 5 scoreless innings against the White Sox. He was 2 2/3 scoreless innings against Arizona.
Now he left that game against the White Sox with the bases loaded. I feel like he walked a ton.
And then someone got out of it for him.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that.
So do we know if Michael King was healthy? For just sake of argument here, let's say he was. Okay.
Okay.
Because it helps my argument.
Okay.
Or at least it helps
Yeah.
helps my anger be directed at the thing that I'm upset with still.
So are we saying he was pitching well and should have been trusted heading into the postseason? That seems a little revisionist to say that. I mean, if you look at his numbers after May 18th when he left,
Yeah.
they were awful.
Yeah, but you also have to look at Yu Darvish's numbers, and they weren't good either.
But that's what I'm saying. Were you choosing between 2 bad options?
I mean, you could argue that, and you could say, yeah, 2 bad options between King and Darvish.
In that situation.
I just think King's stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I would trust more in a postseason game for a winner take home game, winner go home game than Yu Darvish.
Completely fair. Yeah.
So it was interesting when Jake Peavy described, maybe reasons why Darvish pitched instead of King. And if you listen carefully, you'll hear it. He kind of, I feel like, slips and kind of reveals maybe a little too much because he is a part of the organization now. So this is what Jake Peavy had to say on MLB Network Television late last week about the decision to start Darvish over King.
Starting Yu Darvish in the Padres elimination game. Padres and Cubs. They had Michael King in the bullpen ready to go. Darvish, look, he's had a great major league career. It's not a lot of failure in the World Series, but he's had success. He pitched great last year against the Dodgers, but Bob, this year, 72 innings, a 5.38 ERA. Did the Padres make a mistake here in starting with Darvish?
I think if King is really on, he's a better bet than this version of the aging in baseball terms, Darvish.
And King had gotten lit up 3 starts ago against the Mets. However, I think he went, Jake, 5 shutout and then 2 shutout in a tune-up at the regular season, at the end of the regular season. So it looked like he was able to right things. I thought they're doing the Cubs a favor by having Yu Darvish start this game.
I can agree with you here. I think, looking back on it, you want to start stuff in the postseason. I'm a stuff guy over pitchability. And as you said, Darvish has been an incredible major leaguer for a long time. This season, he is certainly starting to look like he's aging. He's dealt with a ton of injury stuff. So I think with the way you saw it go, Michael King in the stuffs coming in, striking out 3, it probably would have been a better call. I think the numbers of Darvish's career, the Wrigley familiarity, and the success in Wrigley allowed him to get that start.
And then it was just one inning of Michael King, too. That puzzled me. As a starter, you're going to go 3-4, get a little more length. I know the bullpen is super elite. Here's what I did like. Estrada coming on in the 6th. Don't wait for, like, leverage in the 8th or 9th when it's not happening. Was it 7th?
Or the 2nd. Estrada came in the 2nd inning.
No, Suarez.
Oh, Suarez.
Suarez came in the 6th. I like that. Like, hey, here's our closer, but we're not sitting around waiting for the 8th, 9th inning. We're down 2-0 now. We need to get him in. I like that.
I thought Mike Schilt. I can second guess this decision all day long because I love Michael King so much. I also love you, and I've got some inside intel on how this went down. I think Mike Schilt, outside of that, managed his bullpen brilliantly, as did Craig Counsell on the other side.
Full disclosure, you do work with the Padres.
Right.
The San Diego Padres. Full disclosure. I should have put that out there. Full disclosure. That's where Bob Costas would have done.
What do you mean as additional insight? So did that led you down the path of he's not fully healthy?
That led me down the path of it was not a consensus in that organization to have Darvish out there in Game 3 over Michael King.
Oh, I didn't go there with that. I mean, maybe you could go there with that, but I didn't. That to me was I have additional insight. What is the additional insight? Was Michael King only available to throw 20 pitches? Is Michael King's free agent status impacting his availability?
Well, look, as you heard Brian Kenny say there, and Jake Peavy's like, yeah, Jake Peavy's a part of the organization now. So, like, when he's going on MLB Network television saying that he would have started King over Darvish, that is one person in your organization that says that King should have started over Darvish.
Well, timeout. But did he say those exact words right there? I would have started.
He said I would have started stuff
over pitchability.
Yeah. And so he was going on the path of Michael King should have started instead of Darvish. And he's a part of the organization. And he's mentioning there that he is. And he's also saying he knew inside information about the reasons why maybe they started Darvish over King and how he doesn't think that was a good decision.
Maybe. I mean, he didn't provide the insight as to the inside information.
Well, of course not. He's not going to say, yeah,
But what you're saying
thought.
the inside information is, hey, people wanted to go with King over Darvish. I thought that was a bridge too far. I thought he's saying I have some additional information, as in, not everyone knows what Michael King has been dealing with, or not everyone knows what's playing out.
But he didn't say that.
No, he didn't say it. He didn't say what you said either.
But he didn't say like, King's maybe dealing with some things. He mentioned his stuff was what he would have rather gone with over you.
What's PV's title in the organization?
He's like the assistant to Rupner or something. I don't know.
My point is, everyone in the organization has a different opinion. If I go ask the ticket seller, there's a different. Of course, it's never going to be like unilateral.
I know, but Jake Peavy's not the ticket seller.
But like you said, he reports to Eric Rupner. He's not in baseball operations.
He also talks to a lot of people in the organization about decisions that are being made and what the thought process is behind.
This is easy hindsight.
It is easy hindsight, but it also is something that, at least for me, I thought of in the moment, even before the series, like, I don't know about Darvish Game 3, man.
They didn't have good options. You're right. It could have backfired on them, but I still go back to they didn't have good options. End of sentence.
How about this? Look at it from this standpoint. If Michael King did start that game,
okay,
and the same thing happened, right? He doesn't pitch well. I'm not saying he pitches only one inning, but let's just say it doesn't pitch well. Are we sitting here saying like, yeah, Darvish should have started over King?
Yes. That's exactly what you're saying. Exactly.
Probably. Okay, yeah, probably.
He had a 6.5 ERA after coming off the IL. That's exactly what we're saying.
I would rather have King.
With the benefit of hindsight, I would too.
But I said it before though.
Yeah, but it's easy to say because if Darvish pitched well, there's no like Andre Verdian, East Village Times, and the Aztecs coming up next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. We'll start with SDFC. They beat Houston over the weekend, picking up their 18th win of the year. That is a new MLS expansion team record. They also reached 60 points on the season, also an MLS expansion team record. San Diego State improved to 4-1 on the year after their 45-24 victory over Colorado State. Next up, they'll look to go to 5-1 as they travel to Nevada to take on Nevada this Saturday night. And postseason baseball today, 3:08 first pitch time in Philadelphia, Dodgers and Phillies, game 2 of that series. Dodgers lead the series 1-0. And then the nightcap, 6:08 first pitch in Milwaukee, Brewers and Cubs. Brewers have a 1-0 series lead there. Need HVAC this month? Get 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast, reliable, wow.
All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Annie Halbrin will join us from the UT coming up at 3 p.m. as we wrap the 2025 Padres season. But right now we catch up with Andre Hekverdian, who covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times in San Diego State. As Jim just told you, coming off a resounding home win over Colorado State, 45-24. So, Andre, I guess where I would start is this, like off the game in week 2 when they lost on the road in Pullman to Washington State, how impressive is the way this team has responded, right? There were so many questions coming off that game, and you look at where they are 3 weeks later, and they've emerged as one of the better teams in the Mountain West.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for having me. I think Sean Lewis said it the Monday after that game. This is a good team that had a bad night, and honestly, I don't know if there was a lot of people outside his building that would have believed him, but 3 games later, I think it's hard to doubt that based on their performance. I mean, they've won, beating a true freshman star quarterback shutout. They've won by, a 6-3 defensive slugfest. And then they've won, scoring 45 points with big plays on offense. So they've kind of done it with offense, defense, special teams as well. Don't forget them. And so I think they have the makings to be a really good team, because once all 3 phases are working together, they're going to be hard to stop.
What's it going to make you what's going to make that you believe in this team? Is it a win on the road this weekend, or do you already believe in this team that they can be a team this year that can compete for potentially a Mountain West Conference championship?
I think they do need to win on the road. Right now, they're 1-1 on the road. The offense has really struggled in both games. They've only scored 19 points in those 2 games. So going on the road against a team they're expected to beat, they do need to win this game to show that they are a good team and they are in contention to win a Mountain West. I mean, they'll have some tougher matchups later in conference play with Boise and Fresno State, and so this is a game that they need to win if they want to be in contention, if they want to prove that they're a good team.
Andre Hekverdian covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. So it's not often that we say that San Diego State has the top graded offense in FBS football. But obviously under Sean Lewis at times has had the top FBS offense in football, calling plays. Well, now he has it at San Diego State. This past week, San Diego State's offense was as good as any in the country, over 500 total yards. The performances from Jaden Denegal. What are you seeing right now from the offense, or specifically this past weekend, that gives you encouragement for this to continue?
Yeah, you would say that performance was what Aztec fans have been asking for and dreaming about for years, at least since Snapdragon has been open. It was not just the points, but the big plays that get the fans off their feet. I think Jaden Denegal's progression since that Washington State game has been clear, and it's not just the deep passes he's connecting on, but what I saw against Colorado State was some of the shorter intermediate stuff over the middle that he had struggled with, that he was on point with. I mean, his efficiency in this game was really good. It'd be hard to find a college football quarterback that had a better performance this past week. And I think, they only have 2 turnovers all season. 4 of the 5 games that haven't turned the ball over. They're at least limiting penalties from last year. They're still, getting 6 penalties a game, but I think it's still better than where they were last year. So they've made a lot of strides. But, are we going to see 45 points every week from now on? Probably not, but we're probably also not going to see 6 points. So they're probably somewhere in the middle. If they can keep not turning the ball over, limiting mistakes, limiting penalties, they could be closer to what we saw in Colorado State.
What about this defense has impressed you the most through the first 5 games of the year?
I think they're very complementary. I think between the defensive line and the pass rush, the linebackers, and then the secondary, they've kind of done it at all 3 levels. Sometimes the defense might be strong in one and weak in the others. They're strong in all 3, but I think the secondary, led by Chris Johnson, they've just done a really good job against the pass. Chris Johnson is kind of playing Johnson Island out there. A lot of quarterbacks don't look his way because they know he's just playing lockdown corner. And so I think that's helped the defense been able to rush the passer, get in 3rd and long situations. They like to play their cheetah package, which is 4 edge guys on the line who can all go after the quarterback. That's hard to defend. So they've just been impressive at all 3 levels, and I think that's rare in a defense these days.
I think everything is a sneaky game, whether it's San Diego State football or basketball, but I would call this game on the road at Nevada a sneaky game.
It could be the University of Phoenix online, and John's freaking out.
It could be my high school, and I would say it's a sneaky game.
Yeah.
But Nevada loses at Fresno 20-17. That scored Fresno State in the second half 14-0. They had a quarterback come off the bench and play very well. Sean, as you were there, Andre, Sean Lewis alluded to the fact that there were teams that were favored that went to the road this past weekend. I'm looking at Penn State.
Penn State.
He didn't say it, but Penn State, Texas, Iowa State. I mean, 3 classic examples that didn't play well. I don't know how much time you spent on Nevada, but as you look ahead to this weekend, would you agree? Is this a sneaky, quote unquote, game for the Aztecs?
I agree. I mean, not too long ago, San Diego State was other opponents, trap games, right? Just a couple weeks ago, they were 14-point underdogs against Cal.
Right.
And we know what they did to Cal. And so, yeah, I mean, I think Carter Jones, the true freshman quarterback, gave a big jolt to Nevada in the second half against Fresno. So, their coach today didn't come out and say, yes, he's a starter, but he kind of alluded to it. So we're going to go on the assumption that Carter Jones is going to be starting. Yeah, I mean, Nevada has been plagued by turnovers. They have 14 turnovers through 4.5 games before the second half against Fresno. Countered out with San Diego State has 2, and they threw 10 interceptions. So just by cutting that down, I think is going. And then with a new quarterback that's very talented, yeah, it's going to be tough. And there's not a lot of tape on him that the defense can really study, other than a half against Fresno State and maybe some earlier snaps he got early in the season. So yeah, it's definitely a sneaky game, especially with the fact that the team has not performed well on the road so far.
And back to the offense here, Andre. Jordan Napier has really developed into a clear-cut number 1 in this offense. A career day for him, 153 yards receiving over the weekend, 150 yards against Cal a couple of weeks ago. It just feels like with a number 1 receiver like that, it makes this offense even more explosive.
Absolutely. I mean, there were times last year where he looked like he was far and above the most talented player on the offense, and they just couldn't get him the ball enough. And he couldn't get on the field as much either because he was a backup for most of last season. So getting him back, getting him into the portal and getting him out of the portal and coming back was a huge offseason play by, I think, the coaching staff. And he's a guy I see playing on Sundays once his collegiate career is done. And I think he's showing that now that he's getting the targets, the snaps, and he's got that connection with Jaden Denegal. After he got back out of the portal and back to San Diego State, he hosted Denegal on his visit. And so those conversations, I mean, would have been very interesting to hear, trying to recruit a guy after you had gone in the portal and come back. And they've hit it off, and their connection is definitely something that I think is going to get better over the year.
I just looked it up. Napier's 19th in America in receptions, 18th in the nation in receiving yards. So a huge year for the redshirt sophomore to this point. Andre, appreciate the insight and the perspective. Good seeing you earlier today, and we'll do it again soon. But thanks for hopping on, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, great stuff. Andre Hekverdian covers the Aztecs for the East Village Times. So the Aztecs win. SDFC wins. What are the expectations for SDFC? We just laid out some expectations for SDSU football. What about for SDFC? Plus Annie Halpern from the UT on the year that was for the San Diego Padres at 3 p.m. This is John and Jim. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Annie Halbrin will join us coming up in about 13 minutes from the UT. We do have Hallow Scream tickets we'll give away today. And we have tickets to see A Day to Remember with Yellow Card. Talk about burying the lead. We have tickets.
I like how you read that
see,
like that's the first time you read it.
Yeah, it's the first time I read it. You've read that?
Well, I don't usually announce giveaways on the show.
So the answer
Yeah, it
is
was
no,
in his
right?
update.
Correct.
So you haven't read it.
No,
But you're
I
like, I
haven't.
love how it's the first time you read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have tickets to see Yellow Card October 23rd at Petco, Gallagher Square, and we have tickets to see Hello Scream coming up today, and Annie Halbrin will join us at 3 p.m. So Aztecs win, Padres season's over. SDFC with a big win this past weekend. First in the West right now. One game remaining, right, in the regular season. Then the postseason is going to begin. Jim has read off some of these numbers. I mean, the accomplishments from an expansion franchise, they're in unprecedented territory right now in Major League Soccer. So where do we focus in terms of expectations for SDFC? We've talked expansion. It's no longer about expansion, right? It's more about, well, can you just win the thing once you get into the postseason, which starts in 2 weeks?
So here's how the Western Conference shapes up right now. SDFC, they're currently sitting at the top of the table here in the Western Conference with 60 points. Vancouver, though, is the 2 seed. They're also at 60 points. Okay. SDFC has one more match remaining. Vancouver has 2 matches remaining here. We talked about this last week, how, they don't have as many matches as the teams that are behind them. So they're going to have to play really well. And, Saturday night, they did that. There was 5 goals total scored in the second half of that game. They went into halftime down 1-0 against Houston, and they come out swinging. Anders Dreyer, he has a goal at the 53rd minute. And then from the 89th minute on, they scored
4 goals, right?
They scored 3 more goals. It was in
Houston scored 1.
Houston scored 1. STFC scored a couple. It was a wild finish there in Houston against the Dynamo. And after the game, as the dust settles, you look at these numbers and you're like, oh my gosh, this is an incredible year. We already knew this was an incredible year, but 18 wins as an expansion franchise, most in the history of MLS. 60 points right now with a game remaining, most in MLS expansion team history. I mean, they're not just putting up a great season; they're putting up an historical season that it's not hyperbole anymore. It's a fact. This is as historic of a season as you have seen from an expansion team in MLS history.
Well, here's my take on that. At what point does it become not about being the best expansion team ever and more about what are you going to do in the 2025 postseason? They'll be celebrated for a great year. It's a great year. All the wins, all the accomplishments, all the points. But can they take all of this, oh my gosh, look what they've done in the first year, and turn it into a deep postseason run? Is that's a little bit of a different story, but I feel like now it's not about judging them with expansion franchises. It's about winning in MLS right now in the postseason.
If they don't win in the postseason, so they get knocked out in the first round.
Yep.
Are we really going to sit here and say, disappointing?
I don't think so. But I mean, wouldn't you like to be able to? It's great to have best year by an expansion franchise ever.
Yeah, you want to cap?
I would trade it in for the success moving forward, probably. Yeah. Some of that success in the regular season with more success in the postseason.
Yeah, all postseason success, everyone would trade in regular season success for it. Absolutely. But I do think you have to look at it for what it is. Year 1, expansion franchise, they have put together a historical season. I get it. If they don't win in the postseason, yeah, people are going to be bummed out. But there is no way, Padres, they made the postseason year with 90 wins. And all we're talking about is how disappointed we are with their season. If SDFC suffers the same fate and loses in the first round of the postseason, there is no way in hell for me. I will say the same thing. If anything, I'll praise them even more for how great their regular season was, knowing all of the troubles that they had to go through to just get the thing off the ground.
Yeah, no, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is, are your expectations for them based on the regular season to win in the postseason? Not will you be disappointed?
Oh, well, yeah,
everyone will be disappointed.
They're one of the best teams in MLS. Yeah.
Yeah. So is the expectation, I keep hearing, oh, they're the best expansion side and but aren't they just one of the best teams in MLS regardless of expansion?
Yeah.
So can't they take this into the postseason and do the same thing they've done in the regular season what's the reason they can't do it in the postseason? I guess is the point.
The one thing that does kind of scare me though, and Darren talked to us about it when we had him on last, is like they're a phenomenal road team. Phenomenal.
Okay.
Not so much at Snapdragon. They're okay at Snapdragon. They don't play like they do on the road at home. Not even close. And they're going to start at home in the postseason here, coming up at the end of November or
End
at
of
the end of October. Yeah, the MLS season it's very long, but that's the one thing that I'm a little concerned about is that their dominance on the road isn't translating to Snapdragon Stadium. And we've had people on tell us like, well, when teams come into Snapdragon, they kind of load the box and back the bus in and make this thing kind of a rock fight. They're not giving SDFC an opportunity to play like they've played on the road this year, which is exciting, fun, a lot of goals scored. We saw it this past weekend. They sometimes it's like a flurry of goals. You're like, whoa, what the hell happened there? That hasn't happened much at home this season. It's happened, but it's not happened as much as it's happened on the road. So that's kind of giving me a little pause for concern is can they take what they've done on the road this year? And, good thing is that they're going to end their season on the road. So they have an opportunity to pick up 3 more points. Hopefully Vancouver drops a game here or, even if they end up having a couple, matches where they don't score a point and STFC can pick up a win on their final road game of the season, STFC is the number 1 seed in the Western Conference.
Right. They still could be. Yep.
And so Darren said, he's like, final home match. You kind of want to see what they've done on the road translate to home a little more. And that's pretty much what you were looking for. And they ended up only picking up a point in their final home game. So yeah, that's the one thing I'm looking for. But again, their season has been insane.
So what's interesting is the first round of the MLS postseason is best of 3.
Right.
So you're guaranteed to play both at home and on the road. And if it's a third match, you get it back at home.
No, I think they play all. Don't they play all matches at home?
I don't believe so. Do they? I don't think it's majorly. I don't know the answer to that. Each series will see the higher seed host the first game, the lower seed host the second game.
Okay.
So no, and then the returning for the third game. So it's 1-1-1.
We're still learning, guys. We're still learning MLS here.
And then from there, it's a winner go home format. So like the Western Conference semifinals, 1 game. Western Conference finals, 1 game. MLS Cup, 1 game. So it's a best of 3 is the point in that first round, and you play both home and road in the first round.
Well, it's going to be exciting, man. It is going to be exciting. That place is going to be packed for whoever they play, and for their first postseason match. It's going to be a crazy scene there, Snapdragon.
It really will. It's coming up the weekend of October 24th. We'll see what seed SDFC is in their inaugural year. All right, Annie Halburn's going to join us coming up on the other side. Again, we've got giveaways for you throughout the course of the next couple of hours as well. We have tickets to Howl O Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. So we'll give those away. That's going on right now. Select nights through November 1st. Tickets at SeaWorld.com/San Diego. We also have tickets to see A Day to Remember with Yellow Card. That's October 23rd. Petco Park, Gallagher Square. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. We'll kick off hour 2 with Annie Halburn. Season coming to an end. We'll shift our focus a little bit to the offseason as well. Annie Halburn from the UT to kick off hour number 2. Will Brinson on week 5 of the NFL at 4:30. Giveaways for you here until 6 p.m. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. SDFC, we talked about it with a historic win on Saturday night over Houston as they beat them 4-2, picking up more points on the season. Their 18th win of the year. Speaking of points, they reached 60 for the season, an MLS expansion team record. Moving over to San Diego State football, they improved to 4-1 on the year after their 45-24 win over Colorado State. Next up, they look to go to 5-1. They travel on the road to take on Nevada this Saturday night. And postseason baseball this afternoon, Dodgers and Phillies in Philadelphia. Game 2 of that series, moments away from first pitch there. Dodgers lead the series 1-0. And later tonight, 6:08, first pitch in Milwaukee. Game 2, Brewers and Cubs. Brewers lead that series 1-0. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Getting you all set for that drive home. Let's just start the show. Here's John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of John and Jim, and we do welcome back to the show, friend of the show, Annie Halbrin, as this offseason, Annie, is now underway. Kind of just like sets in that everything we did for every day for the last 7 months, that's now over. And we kind of transitioned to that offseason mode. It's a weird time, obviously, especially the way it ended. Annie, first of all, we appreciate you hopping on. Secondly, could you have envisioned, seriously, the way last year ended without them scoring against the Dodgers? Did you think it would play out in near identical fashion like it did in Game 3 against the Cubs? And thanks for joining.
Great to be with you, John and Jim. Always appreciate you guys having me on. And it is always so interesting and such a weird feeling how the season ends so abruptly, no matter what year, whatever team is in the playoffs. It is a pretty abrupt ending for all but one, or maybe two if you're getting the World Series. But it really, this year's team it felt like it was such a shot in the dark that it was like what they were. I could never really figure out what they were all season. So I didn't necessarily think it would play out exactly like last year. And it is kind of strange that their offense in the postseason seems to struggle the way it does the last year and this year. To me, their offense just never really got going during the regular season the way that you felt like their talent should have gotten going. So it was really a culmination of that. I think just continuation of that is a better word, but I felt like, okay, you look at it, I know how hard playoff games are and players talk about it all the time. You're getting their best pitching. It's just hard to get the offense going, but we know it's not impossible. And we've seen that for sure over the last few days in terms of the teams that made it to the next round. So it felt like they just left opportunities on the table in both the postseason and the regular season. I still think the Dodgers left them an opportunity to take the division. I think that the Padres would say themselves that they missed that opportunity, that they had some very winnable games. And while I don't think home field advantage is the end all be all, I do think it does help. And so it was kind of just like a combination of things there in Chicago. But I'm wondering what you guys think about this. I got a comment, on social media that it was like the battle of the two mid teams in the playoffs. And it kind of felt like that. Like the Cubs left a ton of opportunities on the table and the Padres left a ton of opportunities on the table. And then the Cubs were just able to prevail in the end. And it is a disappointing finish for the Padres for sure.
I think we can kind of agree on that. I do believe that if this series was at Petco Park, they would have won. On the road, it kind of feels like, the road Padres showed up because that's who they've been all year long. I don't know. They played the Brewers well this year. I don't think that they would, get swept the next round. I thought they played the Brewers pretty well. And I don't know. I just think that the Padres are a team this season, or were a team this season, that all of their worst traits came back to bite them, and it came back in the worst possible time. The fact that they couldn't hit home runs, runners in the scoring position, a bad road team, starting pitching down the stretch was shaky. It all just came back to them in the postseason, and is ultimately the reason why, they're not playing this week.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how the Brewers do for the rest of the postseason. If they get past the Cubs and they kind of, do damage against the Cubs? How are they in the next round? Because I do wonder when they played the Padres this last month in September, I don't think they gave up, but I do wonder if they had substantially slowed down and if they've kind of turned the corner in the postseason in terms of being back to the team that won so many games during the season. But I'm curious to see how the Brewers, because normally the Brewers, you guys know that normally the Brewers don't go far in the postseason.
No.
They're perennially in it, but they don't really do much once they're in, so I'm curious to see how that goes for them.
How would you describe Tatis's season? Awful ending. There's no way around it. He was a topic of discussion all year long. How would you describe it?
It's it wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? You look at the numbers, you look at everything, you're like, gosh, it wasn't bad. I mean, he ended with some decent numbers. He affected the team. He impacted the team during the regular season on the base pass with his defense. But the lack of slugs for him and for guys like Jackson Merrill, who was injured throughout the season, Manny Machado, it just is kind of baffling. I don't feel like they all forgot how to hit home runs. And I don't really buy the whole Petco Park thing because the other team hits home runs, their opposing team, so I know it's obviously harder. It's on a small park, but I don't think that it's impossible. So I don't know. And I don't know if it's really even the mantra of play, sack bunts and sacrifice flies and station to station baseball, as much as just something just either it was the weird baseball gods thing where it just did not click for these guys in terms of extra base hits and slug and all that. Or it is something mental that's going on somewhere there happening somehow. And it's impossible for me to say what it is, but I felt like for Fernando, he got off to such a good start to start the season. And I remember asking him after he got hurt, the first few times, or, he didn't miss games, but he got hit in the forearm, he got hit here and there, and he was struggling. And I was like, why don't you just go back to the swing that you had at the beginning of the season? And he was like, well, you start getting hurt, things start feeling weird, and now you're compensating all over, and you just can't get back to what that swing was, and everything just feels different all of a sudden. And I think that's my question with him is, will we find out later that something was bothering him a lot more than it was? Or was it a mental thing with him where it just mentally got to him and he thought, here's another season where I'm underperforming, and then he just couldn't get out of it. But I mean, he did well on defense. He did well in a number of other areas. He just didn't look like Tatis. I think we can all agree on that.
It is crazy to think he's going to be 27 next season. I mean, we've watched him since the time he was basically a kid. Next year, he'll be 27 in the major leagues. Andy Hobburn from the UT with us right now on John and Jim. So are you at all curious about what's next for AJ Preller, who's got 1 year on his deal? It's been radio silent since Thursday in Chicago. Are we just going under the assumption that Kumbaya, he's back? Or is there any part of you that says maybe there's going to be a change in this organization in terms of their direction?
Yeah, it's a question on everyone's mind. And I will say this is all pure speculation on my part. I don't have any insider info. I have talked with people throughout the season that are inside the organization or that are part of the organization, but it's not, any kind of factual information. It's more just what I put together in my head. But I will say it's definitely not Kumbaya. Okay. And I think that is the interesting thing about this. I feel like, and again, my own assumption, speculation here, AJ has sort of built something where maybe not everyone likes it, or maybe not everyone agrees with Preller about everything, but there is an understanding maybe of he's built this thing. It has gotten us to the postseason multiple years in a row. It has the 4 of the last 6 years. It has gotten us national attention, and hopefully they are giving him some credit for some of those sellouts at Petco Park, and that it's not all being taken credit by another department. But I think that there may be an understanding of that. Maybe we don't always see eye to eye, but we understand that he has built this and that it is very unique to him. I don't know that you switch out the GM and all of a sudden the train keeps rolling and they still stay relevant and they still stay playoff bound every year. Maybe there's lots of good baseball minds out there, but AJ is pretty unique. So I think it would be, I don't know, a mistake. I can't say that either way because I don't know what goes on inside, the walls, and obviously they're privy to so many more things than we know on the outside. But I think that it would be difficult to let him go and then assume everything's going to kind of stay the same. And maybe they don't want that. Maybe they want, hey, we want the farm to be like our number one breeding ground for talent. We don't want to keep going after these other guys like we did. I don't know. There's so many things that we don't know that goes on in there. But I think that he stays. I think that he stays at least another year just because, I'm sure they don't want to eat that money. Okay. And B, I think that there is just this kind of like mutual understanding of like, all right, maybe it's not perfect, but it's gotten us pretty far.
I hope that other department, Annie, realizes the phrase, if you build it, they will come, is when, you build the team and then the fans come, not the fans come and it's not the opposite. So if you build it, they will come. It's not the other way around. I hope that other department realizes that. Moving over to Mike Schilt. Great year last year. I mean, this guy, all he does is win 90 games, but there is I feel like a disconnect sometimes with what he's seen and how he manages this team and his stubbornness to what's actually happening in front of everyone else's face. So going forward, I mean, Mike Schultz not going anywhere. We all know that. Do you feel like he needs to change a little bit next year and not be as stubborn with, I don't know, things like a lineup, things with, pitching and not calling guys out, but maybe keeping a little more real here to everybody? And do you think those things need to change for Mike Schilt? Because at this point in time, I mean, he's a great regular season manager, but postseason success, it doesn't go with Mike Schilt right now.
I think it's something that we all would like if that kind of changed a little bit, but at the same time, like, I don't think that he's going to inherently change. I think that there's also we don't have any good understanding of how much influence baseball operations or the front office in general, or the conversations that are being had. I mean, I do know, and I heard this from several people going into the playoffs, the tensions were very, very, very high from, I would say the brass, or they're not even the brass, the upstairs, the off the field kind of department, and how much of that can sometimes trickle down, how much of that can sometimes, be a little bit of an issue. And I'm not saying it was an issue, but I know it was enough for some people to talk about a little bit, and so it is going to be something that I don't know if he's going to change. I don't know how much leash he's given in terms of, I heard your thing with Jake Peavy, and it's like that is always a little frustrating to me, because if you say you have extra information, either give it or don't say that at all. But, he is, as you guys mentioned, Peavy's an ambassador of the organization. If he wants to keep his job, he's going to make sure he kind of slants toward the Padres on certain things. And I think it was really important that they pointed that out, on MLB Network. But I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. Of course he does. But, how I think that is hinting toward those decisions maybe, being more group. And Schultz has even said that. I mean, in the playoffs, we heard him say that, that was a Preller decision, or, I'm going to sit down with Preller and XYZ and we're going to talk about it and this and that. And so how much of that, is being made without him? I don't know. I know he does make the lineup, though. He does make the lineup, and the front office can definitely influence that lineup or really encourage him to go a different direction. I do wish that the whole reality of situations was a little more, was better communicated.
Right.
and maybe the whole. I mean, it was a bit tough this year, no doubt about it. And so. I don't know if that's going to change, though. I really don't. I think that's maybe, comes with the territory. Hey, he's going to win. He's going to give you a chance to get into the postseason. And then this is just how he is, And I think that's kind of where we're at.
Andy, real quick before you go, does it irk you as someone that writes for a living? Serious question. When Manny tells AJ Cassavell, who works for MLB.com, this is why I don't like reporters, or what he did with Jake with CBS after the season ended and the way he kind of jumped on him for a very benign question at the end of the year. I appreciate transparency and honesty. We don't get it a lot from players. Like he is who he is, but does it bother you? I mean, you're in those scrums, like to hear a player in those frank manners talk to reporters that way.
I mean, Manny is like this, and I don't agree with any of that, by the way. I do not agree with how it goes down. And I think that we've kind of become conditioned to it in a way. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It just is, as we were talking about before. Manny is there's so much of that goes on that does not make video or does not end up on social media. And it just kind of depends sometimes on, if Manny's mood, or sometimes sometimes it's honestly really funny, and Manny is someone who will give it back to you. If you ask a certain question, he'll ask you to state your facts, or he'll, kind of give you a little trash talk and make you work for it a little. And again, sometimes it can be really, really funny, and we don't mind it so much, right? And I think that Kevin has probably gotten to a point where he's just like embraced it, and I sort of have too. I think it's who Manny is. Now, does that make it right? That's another conversation. It's probably open to interpretation, open to everybody's listening and their opinions. But it's just kind of how he is. I mean, he's like that most of the time. There will be some benign press conferences with him, but for a majority of the time, you're getting a little razz and stuff like that. But I didn't think that. I don't think that those questions were bad questions, or questions that you couldn't ask or anything like that. But I think some of it just might be dependent on the mood or whatnot.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Annie, appreciate it. Great job all season long. We appreciate your insight. We really do.
When Preller's speaking, by the way? Do you have any insight on that?
I have zero insight on that.
Share what you know.
I don't know. Is it going to be Preller? Is it going to be Preller and Schultz? Is it going to be Preller and Schultz and Grupner? Like, what is it going to be? We don't know.
It's going to be Preller and Melvin. Annie, thank you.
Melvin, yes.
Enjoy the start of the offseason. We'll connect soon. Thanks, Annie.
Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, Annie Halpern from the UT. Let's react to that on the other side. Coming up at 4:30, Will Brinson, CBS Sports on Week 5 of the NFL. It's John and Jim. All right, John and Jim, make sure to download the iHeartRadio app, or as it says here, promote the iHeartRadio app. Download the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, put us in your presets. Again, the all-new iHeartRadio app, we are there in your pocket. Kind of weird. Or in your car. Hold on, I'm taking this down because you can't see us.
Oh, sorry.
There we are.
There we go.
A good insight from Annie, by the way. Will Brinson will join us coming up at 4:30. Just about like I said, because it's kumbaya, and many have implied that it isn't.
Dude.
But here's my thing about whether it's obviously not kumbaya with the organization. They just bowed out in the first round last year. It was disappointing what happened with the Dodgers. But it's like all that friction that happens internally. It's like, I don't care if the end result from the outside looking in is 90 wins or the postseason or you've got a shot. That's all I care about. I'll put up with it all. I don't know what goes on in the organization. Unless you're in the organization, nobody's fully privy to what goes on. My point is, I don't care. They've won at enough of a clip that, and you agree in terms of you think it would be a mistake. I just think now isn't the time to make that wholesale change. There'll maybe be a time. I don't see why it would be right now.
You're absolutely right. If Manny went out in the postseason and actually performed, like, is anybody going to be like, man, Manny's a total, douche when he talks to the media post game? Like, no. I think even like AJ Cassavell or Kevin would be like, hey, they're winning,
right?
Whatever. I know they're not rooting for the team or anything, but they're rooting to cover, a team that goes far in the postseason. Like that's their job, and they want to continue to cover this team for as long as they possibly can. Hopefully, it's a World Series, and that's the thing here. When you have players on your team that are kind of D words to the media, or they're just not that great of dudes, like you're just like, hey, are you going to perform or not? Like, are you going to help help this team win or not? And if you do, you can deal with a lot of it.
But that's how I feel about Preller too.
I do too.
Like if it's weird inside and there's internal strife and you've got presidents and you've got general managers and you have ownership, and I'm like, if at the end of the day he makes you marketable and you're selling at the gate and you're winning 90 games and you're in the postseason, isn't that enough? Now it's not perfect. You'd like to see them get to World Series or win them, but I'm saying, isn't it enough to maintain your job?
I don't know,
but either do I, because I don't know what they're going to do. But I'm saying, in my opinion, that seems like enough to maintain your job.
I think if you were to look at any other organization, like take away like the names and the people and just be like blank organization.
Mm-hmm.
General manager's been there since 2014.
Right. They haven't won anything.
They haven't won anything.
They haven't been to a World Series.
They haven't been in a World Series. They traded away all these prospects.
No divisions.
No division titles. All this money invested in the team, right? Players haven't produced. 5 managers. Are you saying that general manager should stay with that organization and be the GM of that team going forward? Like, take away the names and everything. It's just a blank organization. Like, when they do player A versus player B, right? I think maybe in some people's minds, Eric Grupner, they could make a case.
Sure.
Hey, we need a change.
You can make the case.
You make a case. Now we're making the case why they should make a change because we do know it's AJ Preller and we do know what he brings to this organization, and he's probably regarded as one of the better general managers in baseball, just because of how he flips so much talent for proven major league talent. And now he's gotten to his team in the postseason 3 of the last 4 years. They're, when it comes to winter meetings and the trade deadline, they're the talk of baseball. They're always, interesting to cover. But it is crazy how the worst kept secret in this town is the relationship between Preller and Grupner and how it's not a good one. Everybody knows it. And if you don't know it, I'm telling you, it's not good.
But it goes back to my initial point from 5 minutes ago. Should that matter in him retaining his job?
Well, who has more power, Grupner or Preller?
To your point, build it.
I know.
Come, not
exactly.
They come, you build it.
Yeah, I am 100% on the side of, if you were to ask me right now, Grupner or Preller, one's got to go. I'm taking Preller over Grupner.
I'm not advocating for either to go, is my point. I'm saying that, maybe there is friction, maybe there's strife. This is big league baseball. I'm saying hopefully they can coexist because I think there's enough to maintain what you've been doing for another year.
You can have the worst giveaways on the planet. You could have one of the worst in-game entertainment products as far as like, video boards and mascots and concession stands. If you're winning 90 plus games a year, you're going to get a sold out ballpark more often than not.
Right. That's exactly right.
And trust me, you've been there. I've been there. Brent's been there when this team sucked. And they still had good giveaways, and good in-game experience, and good concession stand food, and Gallagher Square, and all that stuff. They weren't selling out 72 games a season like they did last past year.
Not even close.
Look, they're not going for the banana pudding, even though we love the banana pudding. They're not going for the banana pudding. They're going to watch the Padres and the players on the field. That's why the ballpark's being sold out.
I completely agree. Let's do a postseason whip around on the other side in Major League Baseball. We'll get to Will Brinson on week 5 of the NFL coming up at 4:30. We have 2 great giveaways for you today as well. We're here until 6 p.m. John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update is brought to you by AutoZone. SDFC over the weekend beat Houston 4-2, picking up their 18th win of the year, a new MLS expansion team record. They also reached 60 points on the season, also an MLS expansion team record. They're sitting at the top of the Western Conference right now, tied with Vancouver with one match remaining. San Diego State improved to 4-1 on the year after their 45-24 win over Colorado State. Next up, they're going to look to go to 5-1 as they travel to take on Nevada Saturday night. And postseason baseball underway right now. Phillies and Dodgers scoreless in the top of the second inning there in Philadelphia. Dodgers, of course, lead that series 1-0. And later tonight, Brewers and Cubs, game 2 of that series. Brewers lead that series 1-0. 6:08 first pitch in Milwaukee. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
All right, we've got some giveaways for you coming up today, including tickets to see A Day to Remember with Yellow Card, October 23rd, Gallagher Square, and tickets to Howl O Scream San Diego. So be listening for your chance to win. So Jim just mentioned the MLB playoffs and the fact that the Phillies and the Dodgers are playing right now. The part we mentioned this an hour and a half ago. The fact that the Padres are out, and we spent the whole year, oh my gosh, Dodgers won the World Series. They went through San Diego last year. And now we fast forward a year, and all the difficulties the Dodgers had in the regular season, none of it even matters anymore. Right? They blow through the Reds.
Yep.
They come from 3-0 down in Philadelphia. I mean, that was a hell of a comeback the other day to win with all those 2-out runs. And now it's like we sit here a year later and they're once again the favorites to win the World Series, right? Like, it's going to take something that to me would be somewhat surprising for them not to win the World Series.
Are they the favorites in all of baseball or national
You tell
league?
me. I mean, maybe it's just because of our seat here in Southern California and how closely it's just the Dodgers. To me, it's like the postseason. Now they've decided to turn it on. I know baseball isn't like that, but it just seems like, I don't know, shouldn't they be considered the favorite, the World Series champions?
I think they are considered the favorite.
Yeah,
they're starting pitching. Great. Otani, Snell, Yamamoto. I know they put Glass now in the bullpen, and he pitched in game 1, but that was also used as like a side day to get him ready for a potential game 4 because of all the off days here in the divisional round. Like Roki Sasaki left for dead essentially this season, comes back and he's throwing 100
as hard as anyone. Yeah.
And not only is he throwing 100, he's throwing some nasty like splitter or whatever that pitch is for him. He's closing out games for them in the postseason. Like, what?
Like, where'd that come from?
Teoscar Hernandez has hit 3 homers so far in the postseason. A big one in game 1. By the way, Matt Strom, bro, what are we doing? Do you see what he did? I mean,
tipping?
Not only is he tipping, he's like, hey, Andy Pajes, I'm throwing a fastball. And Andy Pajes, smart. He just like, okay, relays the sign to Teoscar, boom, home run. It's a feeling that when you're watching the postseason right now, National League wise, how could you not pick the Dodgers? And it's so frustrating.
Major League wise, I'm at Fangraphs. They have twice the odds to win the World Series than any team remaining in baseball. They have a 32% chance of winning the World Series. No other team has better than a 17% chance. That's the Blue Jays. I mean, am I going to trust the Blue Jays to win the World Series, or the team that won the World Series with double the payroll of the Blue Jays that's gotten healthy at the right time? So,
well, the Blue Jays could mash with the Dodgers. I don't know about
they certainly have in this series.
Yeah,
against the Yankees, and we have seen power certainly on display. Okay, so what we saw in the Padres series, where the Padres couldn't hit the ball out of the infield, not truthful, but you know what I mean. Certainly in Game 3,
felt like it at times.
So then you see Toronto, LA,
Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's almost like, I don't know if it's a prerequisite or not, but it feels like to win, it's basically a prerequisite.
Seattle, like, you got to hit homers. You have to. If you're not going to hit for power in the postseason, you're not going far. End of discussion. Just not. And that's the biggest emphasis for the offseason for the Padres is, how do we get that power back? Because they had power in 2024.
Right.
And it just fell off a cliff in 2025. Of course, the 2 guys that I blame the most, really the one guy that I blame the most, is Fernando Tatis Jr. I blame him more than anybody as far as, the lack of power this season and just the disappointment of their offense this year. Along with guys, Luis Ariz had bad seasons and Jackson Merrill had kind of an injury plague year. Manny got close to his career numbers, so it's hard to be like, Manny didn't hit for power. He had 27 bombs. he's always going to be around 27, 30, right?
Mhm.
But Toddy, I mean, you expected him to hit at least 15 more bombs. You expected Jackson Merrill, now he was hurt, to be in the mid 20s, right? And, you expected Xander to hit 15. You expected, it just, the lack of power with this team, for me, it was a team-wide problem for sure, but like the poster child of it was Fernando, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. I mean, I remember watching the first month of the season. He had hit 8 home runs in, let's say, the first 20 games. I remember thinking to myself, there's no world where he's healthy where he's not hitting 40 home runs. And who led the Padres in home runs? Manny with 27?
Yeah.
I mean, you have a team that was led in home runs with 27. When you look around baseball, there's guys hitting 60.
Cal Raleigh's got 60. The Mariners had like 5 guys in like the mid 20s. They also had Eugenio Suarez got traded over.
That's right.
He ended the season with like 40 plus bombs.
And I'm a big well, it's the ballpark. Well, Seattle's got the same thing. And nobody can. So I can't only sell you on, ballpark factors. Well, first of all, you only play half your games at home. Secondly, there's Seattle. And you're right. When you're being led in home runs at 27 and there's teams they got guys hitting 55, 60. It's hard, man. And it's hard.
And when there is as good a pitching as there is in the postseason, you're going to need that home run to break things open. You just are. You can't just rely on manufacturing runs when you're facing the pitching that you are in the postseason. It's nearly impossible to win a series doing that. And looking around here, like Blue Jays, and they're just mashing. They won game 1, 10-1. They won game 2, 13-7.
Yeah.
You got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is hitting grand slams.
Yep.
Alejandro Kirk is hitting bombs. Like, Seattle last night, I know they're facing Tariq Skubal, but like I said, when you're facing a good pitcher, you need a home run to kind of break it open because you are not going to be able to go single to get a guy in with good pitching on the mound. Polanco the other day hits 2 bombs off Tariq Skubal. And it's just, you need to hit home runs. And looking around baseball right now, John, in the American League, Blue Jays, Yankees, Mariners, Tigers. Blue Jays, we both agree they're going to beat the Yankees here. They're moving on to the
Seems
ALCS.
like it, yeah.
Series is tied up 1-1.
Seattle,
Mariners
Detroit,
and Tigers.
Yeah.
Who'd you take in that series?
I think it goes 5. I hope it goes 5. I'm rooting for Seattle. I don't know why.
First postseason win in over 2 decades.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool scene, obviously. I hope that series goes 5. I don't have a good feel for it, honestly, in terms of who's going to win it.
I'll take Seattle
in 5.
Blue Jays, I think, are going to win.
They'll win the
series, obviously. Yeah. So Blue Jays, Mariners.
I'll take Dodgers in 4.
I'll take Dodgers in 4, and I'll take Brewers in 4.
Yeah, agreed. And then I'll take Dodgers over Brewers, and I'll do it in 5.
I think the World Series is going to be Blue Jays, Dodgers.
And then I would take Blue Jays over Mariners in 7.
I would take, yeah.
You know what I mean? I could see that being a good series.
And then I would take Dodgers over Brewers in 6.
Yeah.
And then I would take Dodgers over
That's
Blue
the
Jays
thing.
in 7.
It's like, we're just heading down that same path. But we'll see. It's baseball. Crazier things have happened, but it's just like, I honestly thought when the Phillies scored 3 early off Ohtani, I'm like, listen, tough match over the Dodgers. They don't have home field. They're going to lose game 1. And then, of course, it all changes. 2-out hits, home runs, the power that you're talking about.
The one thing that the Dodgers are operating with right now is they don't have the pressure that they had last year. And even with the pressure they had last year.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Coming back from down 2-1 against the Padres, and after winning that series, it kind of just felt like,
the big sigh.
They but they essentially walked through the Mets, and then they had the upper hand the entire series after game 1 against the Yankees. And now they're operating under the dude, we have no pressure. We won it last year. We got through our tough tests last season down 2-1 in a series. And even if we go down again, we feel like we're going to come back and win. And it's just.
What are the offseason talking points for us if the Dodgers win another World Series? I mean, I have to start planning for this as a possibility. Well, I spent a lot.
Well, look, it just will make the fact that the Padres could not take advantage in the regular season over the Dodgers
that much more
egregious.
And the fact that
and frustrating, by the way, too.
and the fact that they couldn't hold a 2-1 series lead a year ago.
Dude,
It's that much more frustrating.
that's what's going to happen. And I hate it. It sucks.
Me too.
I'm already preparing.
That's what I'm saying. Now I need to prepare whatever I'm going to say about it. All right, let's get to Is That Good? The best and worst of the sports weekend on the other side. Will Brinson, CBS Sports, will join us at 4:30 on Week 5 in the NFL. We've got great giveaways for you this afternoon as well. We're here until 6 p.m. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. All right, that was it. Will Brinson will join us at 4:30. There is Monday Night Football tonight.
Yes, there is.
And it's not every weekend that the Jags and Chiefs get together, but it is this Monday night.
Yes, it is.
And it is, would you call it a sneaky good game?
Yes, I would.
Sneaky. It's a good game.
Potentially. I don't know. Jags could be under fraud watch if they go out and lay an egg tonight.
I would agree with that. But Jags at home against the Chiefs could be a good game. Should be a good game.
3-1 on the year. Their defense has, I believe, the most takeaways in the NFL this year. They've been incredible defensively as far as takeaways go. Chiefs kind of reminded everybody last week. Now, the Ravens do end up actually kind of sucking. So you're kind of wondering, like,
what happened?
You're like kind of wondering, was that the Chiefs returning to form, or is that just because the Ravens suck?
Dude, I know the Ravens are dealing with injuries, but I never expect the Ravens allowing 44 points to anyone. Although they've done it multiple times this year.
I know. And I don't know, man. So we'll see tonight if we have a little bit of fraud watch both ways with the Chiefs and the Jags. Jags go out and lay an egg, fraud watch. Chiefs go out and lay an egg, fraud watch.
Chiefs -3.5 on the road.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a little, I would say a little high. I would say Jags home could keep it within a field goal.
But we all know that stadium's going to be 80%
Oh
Chiefs
my
fans.
God. You spelled 90 wrong.
That's right.
You said 100 wrong. All right, Will Brinson at 4:30 right now. Let's get to this.
Now, I know many people in San Diego probably weren't watching Cardinals Titans yesterday.
Why wouldn't they be?
Unless you had some money on the game.
Right.
But that game turned out to be one of the crazier games of the weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Because of how it ended with the Titans winning that game.
Right.
Amari DeMarcado.
Yeah.
Running back for the Cardinals. Oh, it's going to be a long week for DeMarcado.
It will.
Because he had a essentially game-ending touchdown. Mm-hmm. They would have gone up 28 to, I think, 6 or 7. I forget what the score was at that moment.
Yeah, I have no idea. They would have been up huge.
Massive.
Yep.
That would have sealed the game.
Yep.
Bro, why do we keep doing this? Fumbles the ball before he reaches, gets into the end zone, goes out of bounds. The cornerback sees it right away. Go to replay. He lets the ball go before he crosses the plane. Is that good?
No, it's not good.
Why does this happen in football? Like, this has happened repeatedly.
Now, the head coach of the Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon, I believe, is the head coach for the Cardinals. Hope I'm right.
Is
there.
it? I've never heard that name in my life.
Well, again,
Jonathan Gannon.
I don't follow much Cardinals football, but I do know some things.
How did you know that?
And there's a viral video going around right now of Gannon on the sideline absolutely ripping DeMarcado a new one. I mean, like, to the point where I'm like, how is this guy even going to be on the team still after this week? It was a ripping into that you have to watch to believe.
Is he going to be on the team?
I mean, he to me, I know they lost Connor to an injury that for the season, so the running back room is a little thin. But if Connor's healthy and that happened, like, this guy's cut today. I'm sorry.
It is a terrible look. I mean, just the absolute worst. All right, I'll start with San Diego State. I mentioned this earlier. The highest rated offense in FBS football in week 6 per Pro Football Focus. Is that good?
It is good.
540 yards, 45 points. They took their foot off the gas late. They could have scored 50 points against Colorado State.
And they could have held Colorado State to fewer points too.
Playing second and third stringers.
We were texting about this, I think, at the end of the game. The refs are just like, game over, no extra point.
Yeah, no extra point. Like, I think Colorado State had a walk-off touchdown. Reddit had something funny, like, Colorado State with a walk-off touchdown in San Diego to lose 45-24. They walked off.
Now, the over-under of that game was 40.5, if I'm correct.
So that wasn't a factor.
It wasn't a factor, but I would have loved to see if that game over-under was 69.5.
Oh, with the touchdown.
What they would have done.
Without the extra point?
Yeah. Like, you have to know if the over-under's 69.5 there, which it obviously wasn't.
Would they have had the extra point kicked?
And what if they said no extra point? Then, oh, man.
It was new to me. So yeah, Colorado State scored a touchdown in the final play of the game and then didn't kick an extra point because the game was over, I guess. And the final score is 45-24.
No,
but if it's a 1 point game, they're kicking an extra point, right?
yeah,
They have a chance. So that's why it didn't make sense to me.
it didn't make sense to me either. And going to the point of like, what if the total was
impacted by an extra point?
by that?
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
I was I texted, I'm like, why did they just?
Yeah.
What's happening here?
I'm like, I have no idea.
UCLA over the weekend,
Yeah.
bro. Penn State was a 24.5 point favorites in this game,
Believe me, I know.
and what is that good?
Are you kidding me?
It.
I watched the second half of this game, right? I'm a Penn State grad.
Bro.
And the thing is, they actually were right there. They had a block punt, Penn State. So they're down 27-7. Game's over, right?
The worst fourth down call I've ever seen.
They get it to 27-21 with like 8 minutes left in the third. You're like, Penn State's going to win this game by 2 touchdowns. And then they get it within like 6 again. And then they get a fourth down stop. They have the ball at the 30-yard line going in
With a minute left.
with a chance to like tie it or take a lead with the 2-point conversion. And then, yeah, their fourth down call on a 4th and 1 for like the 10-yard line was a horrific call.
It was like an option read with like a quarterback
Sweep or
keeper or something.
Anyway, if you're like, where does Penn State go from there? I'll go here then. Here's where I'll go. Penn State and Texas. Well, I'm not going to go to James Franklin. Penn State and Texas have combined for 0 Power 4 wins. And they were preseason number 1 and number 2. Is that good?
No, it's not good. Are you kidding me?
No, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with James Franklin. He certainly could go. I wouldn't expect it before the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, he's probably going to go.
I think we have enough on James Franklin as a head coach to know that he's not winning the big game.
Or the UCLA game.
Yeah. Like, not only are you not winning the big game, but now you're losing the like layups.
Yeah. I mean, it's a historically bad loss.
Historically bad.
Yeah.
And you lose the whiteout game too. Oh, dude.
Not a good couple of weeks. What else you got?
Mark Sanchez, is that good?
No, it's not good. Are you kidding me?
Like, I don't even know. I haven't followed it, but I know it's not good.
Bro, I'll just say this. When you're quick to rush to judgment, man, sometimes it backfires in people's faces hard.
Because the initial reporting, I don't know if reporting might be a strong word.
No, the initial reporting.
He was the victim of a robbery attempt. But in actuality, he's been arrested for now a felony for assault and battery.
Yeah. And I saw a picture of this dude in the hospital. Not good.
I saw that picture.
Not good.
And I never see that stuff, but it's in the algorithm.
And TMZ today released a video of Mark Sanchez walking on the streets after he got stabbed, holding his like side. It was not good.
And what's the update on Mark Sanchez?
Don't know.
Yeah, I have no
Hopefully
idea.
he's okay though. I mean, I'm not wishing any bad on
He was
anybody.
in critical condition at one point, I thought.
I hope he's okay, and I hope the victim is okay as well.
Yeah.
But
just what is going on?
Wow.
He was there to call the game?
Yeah, they had to bring in Brady Quinn last second. Which obviously
I go on the road, I go to like card shows.
And you go to pizza places to get Tortellini pizza.
Yeah, I don't even get deep dish in Chicago. All right, my final one is the Ravens.
No, it's not good.
That's it.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, from what? A Super Bowl favorite, if not, honestly, maybe the favorite.
I'll take blame for this one because I am known to be the fantasy football jinx. Like it's a virtual lock at this point.
Right.
My fantasy football career. My fantasy team has Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and Zay Flowers on it.
Dude.
Now they're not having awful seasons, but Lamar is hurt. Derrick Henry, after his first game and his fumble, he's been awful. And Zay Flowers, after game 1 against the Bills, has not been good either.
I hope you don't have Ravens defense.
No, I do not have Ravens defense.
Man. Dude, you talk about, again, like the Ravens are a proud franchise. The Ravens were a Super Bowl favorite, and the Ravens have fallen off a cliff.
Dude.
And it's October 1st, whatever, the first week of October.
I mean, you get boat raced at home by
At
the Texans.
home.
Texans aren't like they're great of a team.
Right.
They're just
They're the best team.
They're okay. Imagine if they did play the Lions, right? Yeah, they did. I was gonna say, imagine
That's right.
I mean, the Lions to me right now. We're gonna have this question in the wrap, so I won't get to it. But yeah, imagine if they were playing a team that was like really humming on offense this past weekend. They're giving up 50, and they damn near almost gave up 50. And
I
it's
know.
the freaking Houston Texans.
We'll get to the wrap on the other side. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer for CBS Sports, will join us coming up at 4:30. If you missed our conversation with Annie Halpern, you'll hear that at 5 p.m. Great giveaways for you today as well in the 4 and 5 o'clock hours. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, this update's brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Looking back at the weekend, San Diego State picking up another win at home against Colorado State. They improved to 4-1 on the year with their 45-24 victory. Next up, they'll take on Nevada this coming weekend on the road. Looking at the baseball postseason scoreboard right now, game 2 happening in Philadelphia. Phillies and Dodgers are scoreless in the top of the 4th inning. Dodgers lead that series 1-0. And then Brewers and Cubs, game 2 of that series later tonight, 6:08, first pitch in Milwaukee. Need HVAC this month? Get 0% for 18 months on a new system. Schedule your free proposal at AndersonPHA.com. Anderson, fast, reliable. Wow.
Home cooking, helping out the Aztecs.
From the 14, handoff, Sutton, huge hole, and he is in for the touchdown. Lucky Sutton.
I know that, dude. A dominant win to open up Mountain West play. Up next, it's a trip to Reno. Meanwhile, what will be the fallout from the Padres postseason collapse? SDFC gets back on track.
Jeffrey con Amal Pellegrino. Pellegrino, gol. City Football Club, Amal Pellegrino.
And NFL Week 5, talking about it all from the studios of San Diego Sports 760 with John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of John and Jim. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports, joins us each and every Monday. He will coming up at 4:30. Also, this hour, your chance to win tickets for Howl O Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. So we'll give away those tickets coming up.
Let's go.
Later this hour. All right, so we're keeping our eye on Major League Baseball's postseason. We've got Monday Night Football.
There's a lot happening right now.
There's a good amount happening.
Some could argue that this is the best sports month of the calendar year.
October. What's your top 3?
Good question. Look, I think October, as far as like sports go, you got college football, NFL, baseball postseason, NBA starting up again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got if you're MLS fan, obviously MLS is going on right now. If you're WNBA fan, WNBA playoffs and their finals on right now. I know that everyone's like, oh, March, man. Dude, I'm going with October.
I'm taking March, and here's the reason why. Not just March Madness, the start of baseball to me is more. I'm anticipating that more than I actually am the baseball postseason, especially now with the Padres out. Like the amount of time we wait to get baseball back, I'll put that ahead of October plus March Madness.
But I have football. I have NFL and college football.
I mean, I got college football too and NFL. Oh, you do? Oh, you're saying I don't have it in March?
Yeah, you don't have that. If you're taking your month,
USFL.
Your month versus my month.
I got USFL. No, it's a good point. That's why it's subjective.
By the way, the national championship game usually is until April now.
Yeah, but everyone's excited for the first couple of days of the tournament.
It's great. I personally don't think it trumps NFL, baseball postseason.
No, it might not.
College football. That's a pretty good.
What about July? ESPYs?
They don't even. Do they have the ESPYs still?
No, I think October.
What's the worst month?
Would you put
sports?
March in your top 2?
February.
February's the worst.
Would you put March in your top 2?
Yeah, I would.
October and March.
October.
Then
is
March.
Really good. March is good.
I mean, February, like you said, it's bad, but it does have the Super Bowl in it.
Don't sleep on December. Don't sleep on.
What's happening in December?
We're getting the end of.
I know what's happening.
College football playoffs. We got NFL getting ready for the postseason. NBA is starting to really pick up steam. NHL is underway. I'm just throwing all these sports out there.
Yeah.
You really want to just name everything?
I would go. I'll go March, October. You go October, March.
Wait, what?
You go October, March. Like October followed by March.
No, I'm going October, December.
I just asked you 30 seconds ago, would you go October, March? Like, yeah.
Oh, I did. But I then convinced myself December is
better than March.
Better.
Okay.
Or at least I would take October, December over October, March. Even though I said March, but
I don't even look at it by the month, by the way. I'm not like, oh, here's this month. I just look at it by like the calendar. Like, oh, today we have the first round of the NCAA tournament.
There are funny TikToks going around of women that are like, all right, ladies, I have mapped out the calendar year for sports for you and your man. So you know when you need to leave him alone and when you can start planning things. And then they like lay out like October, this is a tough month for you ladies out there.
Right. Like if you're going to be traveling, here are the months to do
like
it.
We got NFL, we got college football, we got baseball postseason, we got the start of the NBA season. Like this is a tough month, ladies, if you expect it to hang out with your man.
That's fine. All right. Will Brents is going to join us coming up at 4:30 right now. Let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
SCFC is ranked 7th in this week's MLS Power Rankings at ESPN. Is that too high, too low, or just right?
This is a tragedy. How are
It's
they?
not a tragedy.
How are they 7th?
I just looked at it. I almost like threw my computer.
I'm about to fall out of my chair right now. This is
right.
This is a joke.
It's a joke.
How do we not lead the show with this?
How is that? Did you put it on the bulletin board? Like
Yeah.
If you're SDFC,
Before you walk out to every match now, it says
7th.
7th.
7th? I'm
Like,
like,
huh?
7th.
7?
I don't know. Are we power ranking guys? No, we're
No,
not.
we're not.
We're not.
No, I'm
But
not.
is 7th low? Yeah.
7th is low. When you're at the top of the Western Conference, 7th's low.
10 hours ago, MLS power rankings. I'm like, oh, Philly, Vancouver, LAFC, Seattle, Miami, Cincy, SDFC. Come on. Give me a break.
Travesty.
They went down. Didn't they win this past week? They went down.
That's a
From
joke.
6 to 7. It's
That's
a
a
joke.
joke.
It's a joke. Next question.
Who's the favorite to win the World Series?
Dodgers. If the Dodgers don't win, to me it's the Phillies, but it kind of feels right now we're on a collision course for another Dodgers World Series. That's what it just feels like to me. Especially watching the first 3 games, I'm like, I figured it out.
Right.
Their regular season, they were just sleepwalking through it. They gave every opportunity for the Padres to overtake them in the regular season. Padres said, no, we're fine, you take it. And now the postseason comes around, it's like they're locked back in. They're starting pitching, fantastic. Roki Sasaki as their closer, brand new weapon for them. Offense is their offense. Clutch hitting, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you. I mean, it has to be.
I hate it.
It has to be the Dodgers right now. I know that Toronto's got a 2-game lead in their series, and the Dodgers only have a 1-game lead right now in this series that's playing out in Philadelphia. But I would trust the Dodgers, who have taken home field advantage, to win the series.
Talk about this during the break. How good is Blake Snell?
He's dominant. Honestly, when healthy, he's as effective as they come. From Cy Young season in San Diego on, he's got like a 2.5 ERA.
When he's out there, he's incredible. You know, the Cy Young season in here, you mentioned it. Maybe that was the turnaround in his career. Now, he's just never, like, reliable. He never is going to have a 30-start season.
No, he's not going to throw a lot of innings.
But this is the reason why they got him. They didn't get Blake Snell this past offseason, the Dodgers, that is, to pitch 30 starts in the regular season. They got him for the postseason.
And his postseason numbers, they put him up on screen, have been very good.
Yeah, his career, a
3.2.
3.23 ERA.
With that offense, gives you a chance to win every time
He's
out.
pitching lights out right now, man.
Next question.
Can San Diego State get to a Mountain West championship game?
Well, my answer would be sure. But looking at their schedule and looking at the Mountain West Conference right now, I think you have to say Fresno State's a sneaky good pick to, win the Mountain West Conference or get to a Mountain West Conference title game. UNLV, another pick as well.
They're undefeated.
We'll see what Boise has to say about things.
They'll be good.
They have a chance. Ask me after the Fresno State game.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
And after the Nevada game, too, because they still have to take care of business on the road.
Yeah, like there's a long way to go from, they've only played one conference game.
Right.
So, and at home, they've been a dominant team. Like Jim said earlier, they're averaging 40 points at home. They've blown the doors off everyone they played at home, including Cal and Colorado State. On the road, they've lost to Washington State. They needed that nail-biting finish with a walk-off field goal to beat NIU. They need to show that they can do it, obviously, on the road to be a favorite to get to a Mountain West championship game. I'm with you. After the Fresno game, maybe after the Nevada game, but certainly after the Fresno game, maybe we can have that conversation.
Can I ask the question that I asked you over text the other day?
Which is?
Who would you rather have? as far as like seasons go? Can I ask that?
I don't even remember it. Okay, ask me. Yes. Oh, what was your question?
Would you rather have an 8-4 season?
Oh, I remember this now.
Yeah. Would you rather have an 8-4 season? You beat Boise at home. Sean Lewis stays for another year. Massive improvement.
You beat Boise at home.
You beat Boise,
and you go 8-4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's on the road. A little tough, but they're 8-4.
A lot of improvement.
5-game improvement from last year. Sean Lewis stays. Go to a bowl game, probably a pretty decent one.
Okay.
Right. You don't win the Mountain West Conference, but still.
Okay.
Or you go 10-2. You lose the Boise State game at home. You compete for a Mountain West Conference championship, but Sean Lewis leaves at the end of the season because of how great of a year he had.
That's a Sophie's Choice
I know
impossible question. But 70470 started with team.
I mean,
it's an interesting question. It's
10-2 is probably getting you to a Mountain West Conference
title game. Yeah, you'd be in that game.
But I'm saying you lost at home to Boise. You're 10-2, so that means you win out essentially.
You win out other than Boise.
You win out other than Boise. That's going to get you in the Mountain West Conference title game. And Sean Lewis is like the hot guy on the market.
The hot guy.
And there's going to be some moves this offseason with some power
four teams. Of course there will be.
Sean Lewis will be the hot guy.
No comment. Next question.
Who wins tonight's Jaguars-Chiefs game?
I mean, isn't that a tough question,
though? It's a tough question, dude. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to win as much as you can win, right? Like the point isn't, hey, let's have them here forever and go 7-5 every year. Like the point is to go 11-1 one year. But you go from 3-9 to 10-2.
Sean Lewis is gone.
I mean, then it would remind me of Brady's first stint in San Diego. They went like 4-8 to 9-4, and he got the Michigan job.
I think at the end of the day, in fans' heart of hearts, you take the 10-2 with Sean Lewis leaving after the end of the season. That means
that's like an amazing year.
Yeah. Tonight I'm going with the Chiefs over the Jags.
Jags big tonight.
I'm going with Fraud Watch on the Jags tonight.
I'm going with Fraud Watch on the Chiefs tonight.
Okay.
What have they done for us in the last 10 years? I'm kidding.
You're welcome, Sammy. I picked your team, even though I hate their guts.
I'm taking the Jags at home. It's hard to go into TIAA Bank or whatever the name of that stadium. I have no idea what the name of that place is. What is the name of that?
No clue.
Jags Stadium name. Hold on.
Is it
TII or
you could give me a
Everbank?
Everbank.
You don't just waltz into Everbank and come out with a win.
Oh, really?
I mean, most teams have.
A lot of teams do.
The Jags won at San Francisco, and I texted you, I'm like, what is the Jags' all-time road winning percentage?
It's not.
It's got to be awful.
But again,
they're good.
Their Jags defense has a million takeaways.
Are you ready for that rematch in the Super Bowl?
I hope so.
Jags Niners.
That means the Niners in the Super Bowl.
Man, that'd be exciting. What will you get there? Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones? Ready. All right.
Former Jag great Mac Jones, by the way.
Is he?
Yeah.
On the other side, LeBron, his second decision. His second decision. What is it? A sequel decision for LeBron. We've got some insight there. Plus, Will Brinson, CBS Sports senior NFL writer, will join us at 4:30. It's John and Jim. All right, Will Brinson will join us in about 12 minutes. If you missed our conversation with Annie Halbrin from the UT, you'll hear it coming up at 5 p.m. Also, this hour, someone's winning a pair of tickets to Howl O Scream at SeaWorld.
You're winning tickets soon,
so don't go anywhere. All right, so do you remember LeBron's decision?
I remember it like it was 20 years ago.
Because it was.
It wasn't 20 years ago.
It was a while ago.
That was like right when Twitter became like a thing.
Dude.
And I remember watching it at my house up north with a couple buddies, and I saw the Woj tweet before.
You saw the tweet back then?
Yeah.
Before the TV?
I think it was like I saw Woj, and at the time I was following Stephen A. Smith, and I saw them both say it, and I was like, oh my gosh.
It was a pretty big deal.
It was a massive deal. It changed the landscape of the NBA as we know it.
But guess what? Tomorrow, a bigger decision for LeBron.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's even bigger than the decision.
What did he label this as?
Or is it just an Amazon Prime ad you were telling me?
So he labeled it. Let's see here. Tweeted this out 5 hours ago.
Okay.
The decision of all decisions.
Wow.
October 7th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Salute emoji, king emoji, hashtag the second decision.
So is he retiring?
And he's wearing like almost the same red shirt that he wore during his first decision and the undershirt too. So it's like he's wearing like the same clothes.
So is he retiring?
No, it's Amazon Prime tomorrow.
Is he going back to Miami?
No, it's Amazon Prime Day tomorrow.
Is he retiring and it's Amazon Prime Day?
No, it's only Amazon Prime Day tomorrow.
So wait, you're saying that
Bronny's got traded to the Kings.
He's got a deal with Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's just a big marketing ploy.
He did this earlier this summer where he said, I had a huge announcement. It was after the end of the season. And he was sitting at like a podium and someone's like, what's next, LeBron? And it paused. And then it got revealed a couple weeks later or a couple days later or whatever it was that Amazon Prime Day Amazon Prime Day returns October 7th and 8th.
Well, here's a serious question. Is this his final season in the NBA, or does he have two more? What's your guess? Does he have 2 more years?
He can play for as long as he wants.
I know, but what would be your guess? More than 2?
Yeah.
More than 2 years. Okay.
I think he wants to wait till his other son gets in the league.
Is he waiting for his grandkids to get in the league so they can all be on the same team? 3 generations of James.
Yeah. Bronny James III.
What's the deal with his other son? Is he in college yet?
He's at Arizona.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
As a true freshman this year?
Yeah.
Okay. So he could be in the NBA in a year?
If
he's 1 year out.
1 year out, yeah. Do you think teams are like, let's get his son?
Or you think the Lakers are? Have the whole team, just
the whole bench is just like
just his family.
Sons, yeah.
So you're saying this is much ado about nothing tomorrow with LeBron?
It's nothing. This is not how LeBron's announcing he's retiring.
Remember the reaction to the decision? There was so much vitriol. Man, there was so much anger that day.
And then it's like LeBron gave $5 million to like a Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland or something.
They were still like
screw you. We're burning your jersey.
I mean, he still ended up winning in Cleveland. Like if he had to do it all over again, he wouldn't have done the decision.
Right.
But I still think he would have left.
I think he would have left too.
He needed that, like we've heard it before, like the formative college years. Like he needed some time away.
He did. And then you look back at his career, I don't think anybody in Cleveland now is like, we hate you, LeBron.
No.
Because you came back and you won one. And you can argue with, how great that title was because they beat the Warriors. But
you remember that?
Dude, that made me very upset.
That was the 3-1.
That was the 3-1.
Well, at least you had like 6 others that you won.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one to me, like as far as like my fandom goes, like the one game that pissed me off the most in my life.
Game 5 or game 7 that year?
No, like all of my favorite team sports, like football and.
Is that okay? So which game is the most? One of these Super Bowls?
Yeah, I would go. The Chiefs lost second time. So Brock Purdy, the overtime loss.
Right.
I'd go the overtime loss 1. I would go Kyle Williams fumble in the 2011 NFC title game at home against the Giants.
It's a bad loss, dude.
Then I'll go the second Super Bowl or the first Super Bowl, Chiefs Niners, when they had Jimmy G. Then I'll go the Rams loss on the road. Jaquaski Tart drops an interception like in his hands, like in the bucket, drops it. And then I'll go the Super Bowl loss to the Ravens. They just got their ass kicked that game. That one pissed me off, but like not as much as the others.
What about the NFC title game to the Eagles where you used a running back as your quarterback for 4 quarters?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or what about the future loss? What about the future excruciating loss they're going to suffer this year in the divisional round at home to someone as a 9-point favorite?
Right. Still the only like huge argument that me and Aaron ever had.
Eagles, Niners, NFC title game.
Yeah. To this day, that's the
insane.
biggest argument that we've had.
That means you have a good relationship. Seriously.
We've had arguments, but like nothing compared to that. That thing lasted for like a week plus. And there's still like some, like, I don't want to talk about it.
Is that right?
A little bit, yeah.
That was before you guys were engaged?
That was right before we got engaged. She thought I was breaking
She
up.
thought you were like out.
Yeah. And I proposed to her like 3 weeks later.
No, you can't propose after that.
Well, I did. I mean, I had the ring at the time already. So
right.
there was no going back. Plans were in motion.
All right, Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports. He'll get us ready for tonight. Jags and Chiefs, Monday Night Football. Looking back at Week 5 in the NFL, looking ahead as well with Will Brinson, CBS Sports on the other side. Plus, later this hour, your chance to win tickets to Howl O Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. We've got a pair of tickets to give away. You can grab tickets right now at SeaWorld.com/San Diego. So we'll take a timeout. Will Brinson on the other side. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer again, and there is no better time than now to get down to your local Toyota dealer. New vehicles arriving daily, including the most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs. So whatever kind of vehicle you're looking for, hurry into your Toyota dealer today. It is Trucktober. That's going on right now at your Toyota dealer. Your best time to get into a new Toyota truck. We've got the largest inventory of Tacomas and Tundras ready to roll. The Tacoma is known for its legendary toughness, off-road capability, and everyday efficiency, perfect for weekend adventures or just tackling your to-do list. And the Tundra brings serious power, impressive towing capacity, and bold design, plus the latest tech and comfort features. Whether you need a truck that's built for the trails, built for work, or built for your family's next adventure, Toyota's got you covered this Trucktober. So make sure to get down there. We make it easy. See your Toyota dealer today.
All right, this update is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Baseball postseason right now. Game 2 in Philadelphia. We're still scoreless in the top of the 6th inning between the Phillies and the Dodgers. Dodgers have a 1-0 series lead there. And then later tonight, Brewers and Cubs, game 2 of that series in Milwaukee. Brewers have a 1-0 series lead over the Cubs. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Always great to connect with Will Brinson, senior NFL writer, CBS Sports. We're getting ready for some Monday Night Football tonight, Chiefs and Jags. So, Will, we appreciate the time. Let's just start there. Jags a home dog to Kansas City. I want to say Patrick Mahomes in his career has never lost to Jacksonville. What are your expectations for tonight?
Well, I think Jacksonville's better than a lot of people give them credit for. The defense is they should be 4-0. They really shouldn't have lost to the Bengals in week 2. I mean, it was like Joe Burrow got hurt. Jake Browning they went for it on like 4th and I think 6 by the goal line, didn't get it. Jake Browning goes 90 yards, wins. And, so like, I think for Jacksonville defensively, they're going to be missing Trayvon Walker tonight. So that's a blow to the defense and the pass rush, obviously. But they're still a good defense. I think they're better than average. Offensively, they haven't quite hit the rhythm that I think they wanted when they brought in Liam Cohen, and they don't really know how to use Travis Hunter yet. I think they're trying to figure that out and work him into whether it's offense or defense. Maybe a little banged up. Brian Thomas has had the dropsies all season long. Brenton Strange, sneaky good tight end. I think Jacksonville. My family's from Duval County. My mom's family is, so I'm biased, but like, those people are crazy and they get loud and like they're gonna show up in this game. It's a huge game. Like, you win this game against the Chiefs, and I mean, #1 seed in the AFC is kind of like out there for Jacksonville. So I think Jacksonville gives them a game. Wouldn't be shocked if Mahomes in this offense sort of starts clicking a little bit better than it has in the last. Last week, very good, but against the Ravens, does that really matter? Xavier Worthy being back is a huge plus, and they also know that they're like every week they stack a win. They're 1 week closer to getting Rashee Rice back. Travis Kelce's birthday yesterday. I heard that on Taylor Swift radio earlier this afternoon. Who knew?
Right.
Didn't expect to find out that way, but here we are. So I think we can see maybe some fireworks. I think the guy to watch out for on Kansas City's offense, Rashad Smith, who's a former SMU wide receiver turned running back to the Chiefs. A lot of people in the betting community are peppering his props, like anytime touchdown score, his over and receiving yards. I think if you can still pick up somebody in fantasy, that's a good move to do it before this game starts. They're starting to expand his role, and he's kind of that sort of running back you want in a Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid offense, where like an airback type versus a Pacheco who struggled this year, and a Kareem Hunt who's obviously kind of over the hill. It's like Rashad Smith starts coming on and becoming a thing. This Chiefs offense can get going. Like, it wouldn't be surprising by midseason if we're talking about the Chiefs. Like, why were we worried? This offense is back.
What's wrong with the Ravens?
Well,
it's a loaded question, but like
everyone,
it's
bad.
It's
a good question. Everyone, I mean, that roster, that like, not the roster, but like the team they rolled out on the field against the Texans was, I mean, everybody is hurt, right? Like, even they thought they might have Kyle Hamilton. They thought they might have Ronnie Stanley. Both guys were inactive. It was reminiscent of, like, if you look at Derrick Henry's game logs, he destroys the Texans for his career. And the only exceptions are early in his career when he wasn't the full-time starter, which is weird to think about in hindsight. And then 2023, when the Titans were so terrible that they basically gave him like 6 carries and pulled him, and I think like used like Tony Pollard or Tajay Spears or whoever they used because they needed somebody who was like a pass catching back. And that's what the Ravens rolled out. on Sunday is like the 2023 Titans. I mean, Cooper Rush, they have their, Andrews and Zay Flowers and all that, but they got nothing on defense right now because of the injuries. And without Lamar Jackson, they're going to give up 30 points per game. They have every game this season. They're going to give it up every time because Madubuike's out. Roquan Smith was out. Kyle Hamilton's out. Like, they had no backbone on their defense. And then offensively, if you don't have Lamar Jackson out there, there is no way you're keeping pace with anyone. I don't know. It's not a lost season because the Bengals lost Burrow. The Browns are bad. And this, the Steelers should be the favorite for that division right now, which is wild to think because they haven't been that impressive. The AFC North is down bad. Baltimore can still steal the division, but they have to get healthy. I don't think it's a coaching thing. I don't think it's a roster thing. I think it's just a health thing right now.
Will Brinson with us right now, CBS Sports, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. So the Eagles lose. I mean, every team's going to lose over the course of a long year. John fact. Were you surprised, though, in terms of their play calling? They ran the ball like 10 times, and Saquon Barkley had 6 carries in the game. Was that surprising?
Yeah, and I mean, they were up 17-3 late.
Yeah.
And they didn't feed Saquon, who's now popped up in the injury report for Thursday, but is expected to play, I believe. So the thing with the Eagles, coming into that game against Denver, they had a negative net yards per play differential, which is something you expect out of the Panthers or the Titans. It's not something you expect out of the Eagles. I saw, and I can't remember who sent it out, but basically the Eagles win in shotgun. When Jalen Hurts is in shotgun, they're passing like 70% of the time. And when Jalen Hurts is under center, they're running like 70% of the time. So I think, this is 3 or 4 consecutive years where Jalen Hurts has had a new offensive coordinator, or maybe he's had like 4 in the last 5, whatever it is. But it's not because the guys have been bad. One year was bad, but mostly it's because these guys have done really well. The Eagles win the Super Bowl. Kellen Moore goes to the Saints, et cetera. They're just not clicking on offense right now, and they're not as dangerous on defense. They probably should have lost a game before now. But I think the concern I would have if I'm the Eagles, 1, that net play yards per play differential I mentioned, but 2, the Broncos are a really good team. But if you're up 17-3 at home with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts and the ability to get downhill, and you have to be able to close teams out. And if you can't close out Bo Nix, and Sean Payton's an incredible coach, but if you can't close out like the Broncos, that's a real red flag to me. They're going to, like you said, they're going to lose games, but I think the Eagles, the 2025 Eagles feel a lot like the 2024 Chiefs right now, where they're going to pull off some magic. We're still surprised by it, but they have the personnel and the talent where, and they're in a division. The Cowboys can't, stop the Jets, but they can't really stop anybody. Commanders, are banged up, and then the Giants TBD, but they're going to win the division. They're going to be right there in the playoffs. It's a question of, can they click on offense in time to be ready for the postseason?
Best game of the weekend. We'll see what happens tonight's game, but Bucks Seahawks. Also, by the way, best uniform matchup of the weekend by far as well.
Best uniform matchup of the century.
Oh my God, it was incredible. It's just can we bring those back, please, for more than just one game? It's kind of crazy how this is the performances we were waiting for from Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, the number 1 and number 3 picks in the 2018 draft, and they just blew it out yesterday. Baker Mayfield's playing at a pretty high level this season. Is it out of the realm of possibility to put Baker and Sam Darnold in the upper echelon of quarterback play this season? And we'll see what happens with the Bucks. They have a bunch of injuries, but Baker's making some heads turn, I feel like, with the potential MVP candidate early on this season.
Yeah, and if you look at, I think the MVP thing with Baker is really interesting because if you look around the league, right, Jaguars are 3-1, the Chiefs are 2. The Bills are 4-1. There's just not a lot of teams that are standing out right now. The Ravens are down, so Lamar's case is out the window. Burrow's hurt. Again, Chiefs 2-2, so it's nobody's giving it to Trevor Lawrence. Baker Mayfield is winning these games. I mean, he is getting the ball in his hands, and he's hurt as hell. Right? Like he's got like 4 or 5 injuries right now. Like, he is banged up right now, and he just still rolls out there, creamsicle, marches the team down the field every week. I think I don't know what the exact stat is, but I mean, they won every game in the last 30 seconds this year. And that's one of those things, the intangibles of that, when you talk about winning the MVP, where it says, all right, the Bucks won 12 games, or like 10 games, 11, 12, whatever it is. Win their division. How did they do it? Well, the defense was pretty good and the offense was pretty good, but it was mostly Baker Mayfield making clutch plays late in games despite being injured. That's how you get somebody some real MVP votes, right? I mean, like, and so I think that is a viable discussion. Baker with the injuries and where he was coming into the season, really, he was a top 10 quarterback, no question about it.
Yeah. And
you knock out Lamar, knock out Burrow. Mahomes playing, fine, but not great. Hurts is okay. That passing offense hadn't gotten going. I mean, I think it's easy to put Baker as a top 5 quarterback right now, and he's playing like it, and it's really impressive. It's great to see him do it, after bouncing around and playing well. He's just a gamer, and Darnold's been really good too. So yeah, I mean, I think shouts to the 2019 draft, right? I mean, how many? You got 2 from Lamar MVPs, 1 from Josh Allen, and maybe Baker or Darnold steal 1 too.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question for you. So obviously the Commanders beat the Chargers yesterday in LA. Who would you bet more on in terms of having a better? Who finishes further this year in the postseason, the Chargers or the Commanders?
I would take the Commanders because I think the Chargers. You guys know, I mean, I love Jim Harbaugh. Think he's an incredible coach.
Yeah.
Really surprised to see the Chargers jump out to a double-digit lead and then get 27 points unanswered scored on them. Right. I mean, that is not what you expect from Jim Harbaugh. Amari Hampton's banged up now. Stop the presses, but a Chargers team is dealing with some injuries. Rashawn Slater and then Joe Alt. You lose 2 Pro Bowl caliber tackles, and you're not gonna be as good on offense. And they still got the weapons in the passing game, but I think just sort of if we assume one of Baltimore and Cincinnati with one of their healthy quarterbacks, finds a way to steal a wild card. Patriots look kind of good. Like I think the Commanders have a better shot at it. Mostly because the division for the Chargers is so tough. The Broncos look really good. The Chiefs are going to get there, and Oakland's got blasted on Sunday, but at least shown a little friskiness and are better than they were before last year. So I think I would go with the Commanders. And Jaden Daniels. Look, Justin Herbert's awesome, but Jaden Daniels knows how to make magic happen. Sure. Like he is a difference maker when he's on the field. Herbert is too, but Jaden Daniels just sort of helps, can do more things because of his skill set athletically.
The final one for me, Will, it's going back to last Thursday. Niners pulled up the huge upset on the road against the Rams. Mac Jones is balling out right now, seeing dead people, and all of a sudden goes to the game.
And just 2007 Tom Brady out there. It was freaking ridiculous. And the Rams a survivor. I'm still shook.
Oh, dude. Oh, that's awful. I'm so sorry. It's just
Williams, how dare you?
Right. I know the conversation nationally is going to be now Brock Purdy versus Mac Jones. And it's just, I think that conversation is not a viable one. When you look at what Shanahan has done to the first 5 weeks of the year and Robert Saleh with all those injuries, it just proves coaching really matters in the NFL. When you have an elite head coach like that, it shows you can win some football games with that, going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was I don't think Sean McVay, I thought Sean McVay did a fine job. The 4th and 1 call in overtime was just, and he said it afterwards, he used some cuss words that I won't say, but he blamed himself for it, and rightfully so. Great coach, but just Kyle Shanahan, that was a coaching clinic. I thought they were, he came out, Mac Jones, Christian McCaffrey had 5 receptions, I think, on the first 2 drives, giving Mac Jones easy looks, making Mac comfortable, making sure the Rams pass rush can't get home, going for it on 4th and short in, I think it's his own 35, just being really aggressive, understanding the situation, how many backups you have. Kendrick Bourne balled out. Like I don't think the Mac Jones, Brock Purdy. I don't think that's a thing. I do think Mac Jones made himself $40 million.
Yeah.
In like lifetime money because he's like that's a guy you want as your backup. By virtue of how he played on Thursday night, and probably ends up getting looks in free agency. To me, and I don't have any like intimate knowledge of it, but I would say that you look at that relationship and just the way Brock Purdy's cheering him on from the sideline. It's not this like Carson Wentz. I'm sort of mad that I'm sort of mad my team's winning the Super Bowl type of thing. I think Brock and Mac are probably on the same page, and Mac understands that he's here to win games, boost his status, because that's what being the backup for Kyle Shanahan is. One, you can either play well enough to get yourself to become the starter in that offense, or two, that's what Brock Purdy was, or two, you show enough on film where someone's willing to pay you in free agency later. Look at same thing with Kevin O'Connell, right, and Sam Darnold. So I don't think that'll be an issue. I think they just feel great about how Mac's playing and what it means for them being able to be patient with Brock Purdy.
Will, we'll let you go, but did you see the note, speaking of Circa Survivor, that if you had the Rams, Cardinals, or Bills, that was 60% of the pools in Circa Survivor, 60% wiped out on Rams, Cardinals, Bills.
So I do a couple. I didn't do Circa, but I do a couple with some friends, and we had Colts in another one.
Okay.
And it was like the board was wiped out. So we finally got the chaos. Week 5, finally got the chaos of the upsets we've been waiting for after all the favorites in the chalk won the first 4 weeks.
No doubt about it. Well, we'll do it again next week. We appreciate you hopping on here in San Diego.
All right, boys. Talk to you soon.
All right, great stuff. Will Brinson, CBS Sports.
By the way, Mac Jones, he signed a 2-year deal this past offseason with the Niners.
So he's there for another year.
Yeah, 2 years, $7 million deal as their backup. So
should never sign Purdy. I'm kidding. All right, we'll give away tickets to Howl O Scream on the other side, plus taking a look at this Aztec offense, Snapdragon, coming up next. All right, coming up in about 5 minutes, your chance to win a pair of tickets to Howl or Scream. Boo. SeaWorld San Diego. Live actors, right?
Scared me.
At SeaWorld San Diego?
Yeah. Boo.
I would dress up. You want to be really scared? Here's Manny in the postseason.
Here's just the video. Here's just the hallway of all the video montages of the Padres' failures in the last
154 wrist.
4 years.
Yeah, just show their stats.
You know, that would be kind of funny. Can't win in the clutch.
Now, are you going to, because last year you weren't here for Halloween.
Where was I?
You were on the road.
Oh, I was. I missed it with Jones.
I did an entire show.
Oh, you were dressed up like a banana.
After the World Series when the Dodgers won for their first legitimate World Series since 1988. And I didn't mention the Dodgers one time.
That should have ended up on awful announcing, by the way. Jim did an entire 4-hour show not mentioning the Dodgers winning the World Series the day after the World Series. A solo show dressed up as a banana.
I was not a banana, but still.
He's like a robot or something.
A robot banana.
Yeah. No, I was not a banana, John.
What were you?
I was an umpire, but I was a robot ump because of.
Well, we could use it this year.
Could have used it, yeah.
Xander could have used it.
Yeah, I mentioned the Dodgers winning the World Series in the final 30 seconds of the show.
I remember. I was watching.
That was a tough show.
Dude, that was a really tough show.
But what I was going to ask you
what are you going to ask?
We have a company Halloween dress-up party here.
Is that in our email?
Yeah. Are we dressing up?
I would love to. I'll dress up as you and you can dress up as me.
Well,
did we do that?
We did it that one year, yes.
Shoot.
So we can't do that again. But the thing is, like, there's actually money at stake here.
How much?
Good amount.
How much? Seriously?
I don't know.
Like 500 or
something like that.
Well, my point is, like, how much are you willing to invest in your costume with no guarantee of winning? Like, you're not going to spend $200 on a costume for a chance to win $250.
Well, last year I spent $20 on like the shirt and like the umpire stuff. And I sent it back to Amazon like the following day. So it was fine.
Let me show you who Jones is going to be.
Oh, he already has picked out his Halloween costume?
Picked out. Are you kidding?
He's going to be like a construction person.
You'll think this is hilarious.
He's going to be a walking like card.
You know what that is?
He's Squidward?
No, Patrick.
Oh, Patrick. Sorry.
Wait, I'll get the front.
He's Patrick the Starfish. Does he like SpongeBob? I mean,
yeah, I guess he does. It's surprised to look at this.
That is hilarious. He's Patrick the Starfish.
Man.
Patrick
so
the
maybe
Starfish.
I'll be like Squidward or SpongeBob.
You can be SpongeBob, but we got to think of something better.
Why don't then Is there anything better than SpongeBob in the world?
Well, like creative.
Right.
Like we have to come up with like a creative.
We could be like Mike Schilt and be like really nice about like the Padres on the radio that day.
No, this is for like the company. They don't know who Mike Schilt is in this building other than us. We can't dress up as somebody they don't know.
Right. Well, then let's dress up as like someone else in the building. Like we could be like Frankie and Gina. I'll be Frankie.
They had an amazing costume last year. It was like gum on a shoe.
Oh, I do remember. No, I don't remember it. I wasn't there.
You weren't there. Bubble gum on a shoe. It was great.
Well, you tell me. I'm down to win the money. I'm not necessarily down to
dress up.
Right. Yeah. But I'll take
because the dress up part, it's going to take time and effort. And I don't know if I want to put in that time and effort.
So this would be the week of Halloween.
Yes, John.
Okay.
I'll look it up during the break.
Come up with a good idea.
I got nothing right now.
70470. Start it with team. Can you give us a good idea?
Let me check to see.
It's got to be like 2+ people. I mean, potentially. I don't see Brent dressing up.
I don't see Brent.
No, he's shaking his head. No
That's
chance.
Zero chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. I'll read the email. Wait, is this from last year?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So even from this year?
Yeah, it's from last year. Whoops.
There isn't even a Halloween costume event.
There is. Yes. Yes. There is. There is
Okay.
one. There is one. I just don't know the details.
Do you remember last year?
The annual Halloween costume contest and lunch is Friday, October 31st at 11 a.m. here in the building.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah. Those?
Yeah, last year we did the like dress up.
That was not last year. That was 2022.
I don't know. You look way different.
Yeah, that was when we were doing wrap-up shows in the building.
Your hair's like blonde.
That's the lighting, John.
Okay.
My hair has never been blonde. Even though I did bleach my tips when I was in 6th grade.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Listen, I'll do a dress up, but I'm not going to be the one to come up with a great idea.
Last year, the grand prize was $500.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in for 500.
So yeah.
Try to think. Okay. Maybe
If,
we could
if
be
you have
like,
any good ideas out there for a dual costume that's like creative and fun
maybe
and funny.
like Chucky and Dryer.
Again, John, you can't do sports figures in this building. They don't know who they are.
Okay, that's fair. We could be like, okay, that's fair. All right, call Ryan. I was gonna be like, we could be Michael Jordan.
Well, they would know
might
Michael
who that
Jordan,
is, yeah.
but
all right, call right now if you want 2 free tickets to Howl O Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. Caller 7, you are going this year. New Horrors Awaken. 877-767-4760. Every year, Howl O Scream right when the Padres season ends, man. Howl O Scream at SeaWorld San Diego. 877-767-4760. We have 2 free tickets. This year, New Horrors Awaken, 5 haunted houses, 8 terrifying scare zones, hidden speakeasies, and the shrills of coasters after dark. Select nights now through November 1st. Tickets at SeaWorld.com/San Diego. If you missed our conversation with Annie Halbrin from the UT, you'll hear that on the other side as the Padres offseason is underway. This is John and Jim. What do you got?
stupid Dodgers. Runners on second and third, no outs in the top of the 7th. They're winning this game, and they're winning the World Series.
Is it still scoreless?
Scoreless. There's no outs.
Stay with us.
This update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Game 2, Phillies and Dodgers. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Dodgers have just taken a 1-0 lead. Runners in the corners and 1 out. Dodgers, they lead that series 1-0. Later tonight, Game 2, Brewers and Cubs in Milwaukee. Brewers have a 1-0 series lead there. Monday Night Football tonight. We're about 15 minutes away from kickoff in Jacksonville as the Jags host the Kansas City Chiefs. Cue the easy button because it's officially easy deal days at Staples now through October 11th. Save up to 40% off over 1,000 products from tech, chairs, luggage, and more. Head to your Staples local store or staples.com to save while supplies last. Staples, that was easy.
Home cooking, helping out the Aztecs.
From the 14, handoff, Sutton, huge hole, and he is in for the touchdown. Lucky Sutton.
I know that, dude. A dominant win to open up Mountain West play. Up next, it's a trip to Reno. Meanwhile, what will be the fallout from the Padres postseason collapse? SDFC gets back on track.
Pellegrino, gol. Padres City Football Club, Amal Pellegrino.
And NFL Week 5, talking about it all from the studios of San Diego Sports 760 with John and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of John and Jim. We'll hear from Andy Halpern coming up at 5:30 or around 5:30. We sat down with Andy earlier this afternoon, but John Seidler, the primary owner of the Padres, has penned a letter. He has penned, that means written,
Yes,
a letter to fans, right?
Yeah, this sent to season ticket holders, and I don't know if it was sent to just season ticket holders or not, but this is a letter from John Seidler. I've not read it yet because I wanted to read it live on the air here.
I'm excited to hear it.
Dear faithful Padres fans, thank you for your unwavering and passionate support of the Padres in 2025. Because of you, we set a new all-time franchise attendance record and had the best home field advantage in MLB. You are the engine that powers the Padres and our players. On behalf of the entire Padres organization, we greatly appreciate you. You are the best fans in baseball, and we are grateful for your faithful support. While we have made the postseason in 4 of the last 6 years and had 2 consecutive 90-win regular seasons for the first time in franchise history, we fell short of our goal to win a world championship. Our elimination in the wild card round was a disappointment and exposed areas where we must improve. As we look ahead to 2026, our goal remains the same, but we need to get better to accomplish that goal. The process of getting better will begin immediately as we perform a thorough review of our organization with an eye towards improving and winning our first World Series championship. Thank you again for supporting the Padres, and I look forward to seeing you at Petco Park in 2026. Sincerely, John Seidler.
Wait, so hold on. So they're doing a thorough review of the organization?
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting line.
The process of getting better will begin immediately as we perform a thorough review of our organization with an eye towards improving and winning our first World Series championship.
Interesting. So what do you make of? Is that just checking the box? You need to hear from the owner. They drew 3.4 million fans. We need to say we're disappointed. Or is that the sign of action? It may take a day or 2 or 3 before we hear from like the organization with like a postseason media press conference.
Reading it for the first time, obviously, first 2 paragraphs, a lot of fluff. Like nobody cares,
right.
Dude. No, my guy, nobody cares. All right, that you guys sold out 73 home games, and
you're the engine that could
and 190 games in back-to-back years. Like nobody cares. All right, so you spent but you used 2 of your really 3 paragraphs here to just fluff you guys and say how great the organization is for selling out Petco, even though it's the fans, and then you win 9. Nobody cares. But yeah, you're right. The process of getting better will begin immediately as we perform a thorough review of our organization. So
does that scream pause before we hear from AJ Preller?
Well, he didn't mention AJ. He didn't mention anybody. He didn't mention hey, we believe in AJ going forward and nothing. I mean, nothing there. Again,
no player, no coach, no.
I don't expect much from John because John is just there. I don't envision him being like, we need to do this.
Right. I don't think he ran in like the first day of offseason like a Fangraphs printout. Like, yo,
Yeah.
we got to talk Babbitt.
Yeah. This to me is like.
Well, you write that to your season ticket holders because you're thanking them for their support. And you're saying we didn't live up to expectations. We need to do better. And we thank you. And we will.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit of a nothing burger. The only thing that I would say is that sentence about thorough review of the organization.
Yeah.
You didn't have to throw it in there.
Now, is this the only time we hear from John Seiler in the postseason, in the offseason? I mean, I'm like dead serious. That's like a serious question.
I want to know the next time they speak with the media, who is at the podium, the desk. Is it just AJ?
It's probably going to be a Zoom, like it's been the last couple of years.
Maybe. Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't think they're going to have an in-person press conference.
You're probably right.
AJ doesn't operate that way. If AJ is still the guy.
But you think, so you're saying that John won't be part of that? It would be your guess? John Seidler?
No chance.
All right, which means you're not going to hear from John Seidler in person until at earliest spring training 2026.
Yeah. That's
so
my guess.
5 months.
Okay.
But you got that letter that he penned. I want to know when we hear from the Padres next with the media. Like, it would have to be this week, Jim. It would have to be. They finished playing last week. You need to turn the page and look back and look ahead. I would think it would be this week unless there's business at hand, unless they have decisions to make on their front office. And it's been very quiet, obviously, since Thursday.
Yeah.
Not hearing anything.
Yeah. And again, if we get to like next Monday and we still haven't heard from the Padres, then alarm bells start to go off. Like we are going to definitely be, what's going on here? Because you should hear from them this week. Like this week is the week that you hear from the Padres. We just don't know when it will be. And I'm not going to sound the alarms right now on Monday because it's Monday. But if we get to like Thursday this week and we still haven't heard anything.
Have we heard from other teams that bowed out in the wild card round, the other 3 teams?
Yeah, I believe the Red Sox, they spoke. I'm not like entirely sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Who else lost in the opening round?
Yeah, Red Sox spoke today.
So the Reds lost in the opening round. The Red Sox lost. The Padres lost. And the Guardians lost.
Yeah, Reds. I don't know if they've spoken yet. Guardians. I don't know if they've spoken yet.
Again, I can give it a day or two, but you would think within like a week.
Right. And again, that's something that I expect to happen. Everyone expects to happen. So we're just waiting right now. There's nothing to make. It's like, just not make something of something that's really nothing.
So do you think it's nothing then?
That they haven't spoke yet? Yes.
Not that they haven't spoke yet, but do you think nothing is, do you think it will be business as usual the next time we hear from them? Business as usual being AJ Preller's the one we hear from.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Then I'm with you. Then there's nothing to be made of it. If it's going to be AJ Preller, then if it is AJ Preller, if we get that email, you don't even get the email. When I get the email from Tiffany,
I get some emails
at Padres.com that says, here's how to log into the Zoom or here's where to go. I'm expecting it to say with AJ Preller, whatever, baseball operations, general manager.
Mike Schilt.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay.
So that would be, I'll let you know if I get that email.
Yeah.
I'll send that to you since you don't get them.
Thank you. I'm sure you will give it to me.
I probably won't, actually.
You probably won't even mention it to me.
Because you guys will like, when I'm on the road, you'll like email me like, hey, can you send me the Mike Schilt sound? I'm like, oh, I got that like 2 hours ago.
I do get other emails. I just don't get game notes anymore. And I never got the Mike Schilt sound. And I got Mike Schilt sound like for like 3 months or maybe less than that. And I remember even emailing them back saying, thank you so much for the Mike Schilt sound. It's great.
And then they're like, oh, he's still on the list. Get rid of him.
Probably.
Now, I'll let you know. When they're going to speak.
Okay. Dude, what if we get the email that says like Eric Grupner and Mike?
Ooh,
and Mike.
You just said there's no reason to sound the alarm.
No, I'm just saying like those are the reasons to sound the alarm. If the person that speaks on behalf of the organization after the end of the season,
John Seidler and Eric Grupner.
oh, then S is going down.
We would already know.
S is going down if that were the case.
The one thought I had was like, is there a world in which the organization works with it, like he just moves on because he's like traded?
Preller?
He's under contract. I mean, he's under contract. Is there a world in which they come to terms on him leaving and going somewhere else? And it's his own fruition. Like it's his choice.
Well, what jobs are open?
I have no idea.
I was thinking about the other day. I'm like the Mets would make sense. Preller goes,
but they're not open.
But they're not open.
Yeah.
Red Sox, they're not open. They're like big teams, not like the Rockies or
the
Pirates. Pirates brought back their general manager for God knows what reason why.
Right. If the Pirates, that was one of my points. Though. Like if the Pirates are bringing back their GM, are you really moving on right now? But again, every organization has different goals. I get it. Everyone wants to see him win at a higher level in the postseason.
Does he go back to Texas? That'd be something. Skip Schumacher, new manager in Texas. Congratulations to Skip. That's a good hire.
Is there who's the GM in Texas?
I forget, but I know Chris Young runs that place. I forget who the GM is.
But if there's a GM, then the answer would be
I know.
no.
I'm just throwing out ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's been quiet, but I don't think there's any reason to overreact either to how quiet it's been. Season just ended on Thursday. All right, we'll take a time out. On the other side, again, Annie Halpern, if you missed our conversation, you're going to hear that coming up at 5:30. We've got tickets to give away. We'll do that. A day to remember with Yellow Card, October 23rd at Petco Park at Gallagher Square. For tickets and info, visit Ticketmaster.com. We'll give those away on the other side. Annie Halpern in about 15 minutes. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. right, John and Jim.
Well, the Philly season's over.
Hold on. San Diego Sports 760 congratulates all our $5,000 winners in iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher powered by Donors Choose. There's still time for you to nominate a public school teacher making a difference. And maybe they'll be one of our next winners of $5,000 to make over their classroom. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future. Nominate your favorite teacher now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. So you're willing to write the Phillies off down 2-0 going to LA for game 3 in a best of 5 series?
The only thing that the Phillies have at this moment in time is the Dodgers bullpen. And even that
has been good
for the most part in the postseason. And with a 4-run lead, they don't have to be perfect.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, from a 3-0 lead on Ohtani in game 1 to going to LA down 2 games, whoa, life comes at you quick.
Dodgers have scored 9 unanswered runs in this series.
Phillies have only scored 3 runs in the series at home.
I think Schwarber is 0 for in the series. He's doing his best Padres impersonation.
Yeah, you said he'd fit in well in San Diego.
He's 0 for his last 20, or he was 0 for his last 20 heading into a couple of bats tonight.
Does this go back to the week off theory? The week off theory being it's not really good for you, or does it go off back to the Dodgers are just the best team in baseball theory?
How can I say that when the Blue Jays are just crushing the Yankees right now?
Right. Who are the 4 teams at the week off?
And the Brewers crushed the Cubs in game 1.
Brewers, Blue Jays, Phillies,
Mariners
are 1-1. Yep. True.
And
just the Phillies that
we'll see what happens with the Cubs and the Brewers tonight. But what if the Brewers stomp the Cubs tonight? You know, you got 2 series that the team with the rest looks great, and 2 series the teams with the rest look not great.
Maybe it proves the point that the Dodgers are just the best team in baseball, even if they didn't have the best record in the regular season.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, they're a good team, and they have the best starting pitching, in my opinion, right now in the postseason with Ohtani, Snell, and Yamamoto. Like that 1-2-3 punch right there. Like who has a better 1-2-3 in the postseason than that? Nobody.
No one has a better 1-2-3.
No, not even close. And if you want to throw Glasnow in there too, go ahead.
Who's coming out of their bullpen?
He only came out of their bullpen in game 1 because of the off days.
Gotcha, yeah.
Side days.
This Movember. So he's a starter. He's going to start for them in the postseason.
In the 7th series.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'd prefer the week off to your point. Like, I think Philadelphia was positioned, and like you said, the other teams have played well with the week off, or well enough.
Yeah, you watch the postseason right now. Blue Jays and Mariners, we'll see what happens with the Brewers tonight, but we had the conversation a lot this year. Would you rather have the week off? Not the week off, but like the seating goes and home field, you're not getting the week off. Home field's a pretty big thing in the first round.
Oh, huge. It would have been the difference for the Padres. I'm confident.
You always choose the week off, dude. You always do.
Yeah.
How could you not?
But I mean, I choose the home field. That's over playing at Wrigley Field.
Yeah. Week off number 1, home field number 2. Like, if you can't get a week off, gotta get a home field. And they had a chance, and it was on a platter for them, and they just blew it.
Padres blew it on a platter. Monday Night Football is underway. So, like, the biggest game in Jacksonville Jaguars history. Not really, but big game for the Jags underway at home against the Chiefs. Again, Will Brinson earlier said he gave the Jags more than a puncher's chance. He liked the Jags.
Sneaky good. I still think this game could be determined a little bit of fraud
out of the Jags.
But hey, look, love the Jags uniforms tonight. Little throwback jersey there. We'll see.
What's throwback about them? I'm asking.
If you look, those jerseys are like more similar to the jerseys they wore
like 99
in their first season in the league.
Okay.
I don't know if these are their like every home game jerseys or if it's like a throwback.
Those are the Mark Brunell jerseys.
Yeah, the Mark Brunell jerseys. Those look cool. Those look cool.
I don't know what their other ones look
their
like.
Jags have had some awful jerseys.
Awful.
Remember those half black, half gold helmets when they made the AFC title game
in their second year, maybe?
Again, no, not their second.
Oh,
year.
okay.
It was the Blake Bortles year when they made the AFC title game against the Patriots.
Yep.
There was a chance that it could have been the Jaguars and Vikings in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that would have been massive.
With Chase Keenum and Blake Bortles.
How big would that have been?
Not very big. But that was the year that Nick Foles and the Eagles made it, and they won on the Philly not on the Philly special, but that was the Philly special Super Bowl.
Am I wrong in saying in the Jags' second year they made the AFC?
I remember that all, by the way.
Didn't the Jags make the AFC title game their second year?
Yes.
Yes.
And didn't the Panthers make the NFC title game their second year?
Yeah, they got beat by Green Bay.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And that was basically the Jags history.
Yeah.
Till Blake Bortles. All right. So Jags and Chiefs. You like the Chiefs tonight. I'm taking the Jags.
Mhm.
I'm with Will Brinson.
Okay. Be with Will Brinson.
I'm going to take the Jags tonight
When
to win big.
When the Chiefs win 31-14.
Nobody's going to hold me accountable.
Nor should anybody, because who cares? Nobody cares.
No, nobody does.
Nobody cares.
What do we have on Thursday night this week?
It's a good question, John. My guess is probably a bad matchup.
Yeah.
I already know what it is.
Okay, Jim, just throw out two teams. Okay. Throw out two teams.
Can I ask for a lifeline?
Yeah.
All I want to know, is it a good or a bad matchup?
What if I said half and half?
Pass.
Half and half. As in, one of the teams is good, one of the teams is bad.
Great.
Okay.
Here's your hint. It's an NFC matchup.
Ooh, okay.
One of the teams good,
All
one
right.
of the teams bad. You already know what happened last Thursday. So you can throw out Niners Rams.
Oh, I know. Phillies Giants.
Not Phillies, but the Eagles will play.
No. Wait.
Oh, Philly?
Philly.
I thought you said Phillies.
He did, but that's not what he meant.
That's what I meant. I meant Eagles Giants.
Eagles Giants in New York.
Yeah, because
So the Dodgers are going to have the series wrapped up by Thursday, then. So the Phillies can.
Phillies will play
Kyle
this game.
Schwarber will be
Phillies
the running
might be
back.
able to beat the Giants. Maybe not. Jackson Dart's second start.
Abdul Carter just like rushing.
Third
Who's the quarterback? Bryce Harper.
Probably decent.
His third
truthfully.
start, because he started last week and
that's
this
right.
week
That's right. His third
when
start.
he lost to the Saints.
Call right now
Brutal.
if you want 2 free tickets to see A Day to Remember with Yellow Card, October 23rd at Petco Park. 877-767-4760. Caller 5, you're going. This is Gallagher Square, Petco Park, Yellow Card, October 23rd. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. We had a lengthy conversation with Annie Halbrin on the beginning of the Padres offseason. You'll hear it on the other side. This is John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is John and Jim again for the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and now open. The hotel and spa at Hamul. It's the next level of luxury. It's arrived, and you can treat yourself to a stunning new stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, and all the thrills of Hamul Casino Resort, now all in one unforgettable destination.
Yeah, and savor San Diego's ultimate endless dining experience at Hamul 23, from their world-famous lobster brunch served every morning to their VIP endless dining experience each evening. Indulgent chef-curated specialties, fresh seafood, prime cuts, and decadent desserts, all with stunning panoramic views.
You're going to love the spa over at Hamul Casino Resort. You can unwind in style, experience pure relaxation, indulgent treatments, serene spaces, and a retreat designed to refresh your body and mind. Only at Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place.
This update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Game 2 of the National League Division Series between the Phillies and the Dodgers. Dodgers have a 4-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning, looking to take a commanding 2-0 series lead there. Best of 5 in the NLDS. Game 2, Brewers and Cubs tonight, 6:08. First pitch in Milwaukee. Brewers have a 1-0 series lead there. Monday Night Football is underway in Jacksonville. 9:24 left in the first quarter there. We are scoreless between the Chiefs and the Jags. Cue the easy button because it's officially easy deal days at Staples. Now through October 11th, save up to 40% off over 1,000 products from tech, chairs, luggage, and more. Head to your Staples local store or staples.com to save while supplies last. Staples, that was easy.
All right, Jim's back page coming up. If you missed it earlier, friend of the show, Annie Halpern from the UT joined us. We talked about 2025 Padres, looked ahead to 2026 as well. We started the conversation asking Annie if she was at all surprised that 2025 came to an end in near identical fashion to 2024.
Great to be with you, John and Jim. Always appreciate you guys having me on. And it is always so interesting and such a weird feeling how the season ends so abruptly, no matter what year, whatever team is in the playoffs. It is a pretty abrupt ending for all but one, or maybe two if you're getting the World Series. But it really, like, this year's team just, it felt like it was such a shot in the dark that it was like what they were. I could never really figure out what they were all season. So I didn't necessarily think it would play out exactly like last year. And it is kind of strange that their offense in the postseason seems to struggle the way it does the last year and this year. To me, their offense just never really got going during the regular season the way that you felt like their talent should have gotten going. So it was really a culmination of that. I think, like, just continuation of that is a better word. But I felt like, okay, you look at it, I know how hard playoff games are and players talk about it all the time. You're getting their best pitching. It's just hard to get the offense going. But we know it's not impossible. And we've seen that for sure over the last few days in terms of the teams that made it to the next round. So it felt like they just left opportunities on the table in both the postseason and the regular season. I still think the Dodgers left them an opportunity to take the division. I think that the Padres would say themselves that they missed that opportunity, that they had some very winnable games. And while I don't think home field advantage is the end all be all, I do think it does help. And so it was kind of just like a combination of things there in Chicago. But I'm wondering what you guys think about this. I got a comment, on social media that it was like the battle of the two mid teams in the playoffs, and it kind of felt like that. Like the Cubs left a ton of opportunities on the table, and the Padres left a ton of opportunities on the table, and then the Cubs were just able to prevail in the end. And it is a disappointing finish for the Padres for sure.
I think we can kind of agree on that. I do believe that if this series was at Petco Park, they would have won. On the road, it kind of feels like, the road Padres showed up because that's who they've been all year long. I don't know. They played the Brewers well this year. I don't think that they would, get swept the next round. I thought they played the Brewers pretty well. And I don't know. I just think that the Padres are a team this season, or were a team this season, that all of their worst traits came back to bite them, and it came back in the worst possible time. The fact that they couldn't hit home runs, runners in scoring position, a bad road team, starting pitching down the stretch was shaky. Like, it all just came back to them in the postseason, and is ultimately the reason why, they're not playing this week.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how the Brewers do for the rest of the postseason. If they get past the Cubs and they kind of, do damage against the Cubs, how are they in the next round? Because I do wonder, when they played the Padres this last month in September, I don't think they gave up, but I do wonder if they had substantially slowed down, and if they've kind of turned the corner in the postseason in terms of being back to the team that won so many games during the season. But I'm curious to see how the Brewers, because normally the Brewers, you guys know that normally the Brewers don't go far in the postseason. No. They're perennially in it, but they don't really do much once they're in, so I'm curious to see how that goes for them.
How would you describe Tatis's season. Awful ending. There's no way around it. He was the topic of discussion all year long. How would you describe it?
It's like it wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at the numbers, you look at everything, you're like, gosh, it wasn't bad. I mean, he ended with some decent numbers. He affected the team. He impacted the team during the regular season on the base pass with his defense. But the lack of slug for him and for guys like Jackson Merrill, who was injured throughout the season, Manny Machado, it just is kind of baffling. Like I don't feel like they all forgot how to hit home runs. And I don't really buy the whole Petco Park thing because the other team hits home runs, their opposing team, So I know it's obviously harder. It's on a small park, but I don't think that it's impossible. So I don't know. And I don't know if it's really even the mantra of play, sack bunts and sacrifice flies and station to station baseball, as much as just something just either it was the weird baseball gods thing where it just did not click for these guys in terms of extra base hits and slug and all that. Or it is something like mental that's going on somewhere there happening somehow. And it's impossible for me to say what it is, but I felt like for Fernando, he got off to such a good start to start the season. And I remember asking him after he got hurt, like the first few times, or, he didn't miss games, but he got hit in the forearm, he got hit here and there, and he was struggling. And I was like, why don't you just go back to the swing that you had at the beginning of the season? And he was like, well, you start getting hurt, things start feeling weird, and now you're compensating all over, and you just can't get back to what that swing was, and everything just feels different all of a sudden. And I think that's like my question with him is, will we find out later that something was bothering him a lot more than it was? Or was it a mental thing with him where it just mentally got to him and he thought, here's another season where I'm underperforming, and then he just couldn't get out of it. But I mean, he did well on defense. He did well in a number of other areas. He just didn't look like Tatis. I think we can all agree on that.
It is crazy to think he's going to be 27 next season. I mean, we've watched him since the time he was basically a kid. Next year, he'll be 27 in the major leagues. Andy Halpern from the UT with us right now on John and Jim. So are you at all curious about what's next for AJ Preller, who's got 1 year on his deal? It's been radio silent since Thursday in Chicago. Are we just going under the assumption that Kumbaya, he's back? Or is there any part of you that says maybe there's going to be a change in this organization in terms of their direction?
Yeah, it's a question on everyone's mind. And I will say this is all pure speculation on my part. I don't have any insider info. I have talked with people throughout the season that are inside the organization or that are part of the organization, but it's not, any kind of factual information. It's more just what I put together in my head. But I will say it's definitely not Kumbaya. Okay. And I think that is the interesting thing about this. I feel like, and again, my own assumption, speculation here, AJ has sort of built something where maybe not everyone likes it, or maybe not everyone agrees with Preller about everything, but there is an understanding maybe of like, he's built this thing. It has gotten us to the postseason multiple years in a row. It has the 4 of the last 6 years. It has gotten us national attention, and hopefully they are giving him some credit for some of those sellouts at Petco Park, and that's not all being taken credit by another department. But I think that there may be an understanding of that. Like maybe we don't always see eye to eye, but we understand that he has built this and that it is very unique to him. I don't know that you switch out the GM and all of a sudden the train keeps rolling and they still stay relevant and they still stay playoff bound every year. Maybe there's lots of good baseball minds out there, but AJ is pretty unique. So I think it would be, I don't know, a mistake. I can't say that either way because I don't know what goes on inside, the walls, and obviously they're privy to so many more things than we know on the outside. But I think that it would be difficult to let him go and then assume everything's going to kind of stay the same. And maybe they don't want that. Maybe they want, hey, we want the farm to be like our number one breeding ground for talent. We don't want to keep going after these other guys. Like we did, I don't know, there's so many things that we don't know that goes on in there, but I think that he stays. I think that he stays at least another year just because, I'm sure they don't want to eat that money. Okay. And B, I think that there is just this kind of like mutual understanding of like, all right, maybe it's not perfect, but it's gotten us pretty far.
I hope that other department, Annie, realizes the phrase, if you build it, they will come, is when, you build the team and then the fans come, not the fans come and it's not the opposite. So if you build it, they will come. It's not the other way around. I hope that other department realizes that. Moving over to Mike Schilt. Great year last year. I mean, this guy, all he does is win 90 games, but there is I feel like a disconnect sometimes with what he's seen and how he manages this team and his stubbornness to what's actually happening in front of everyone else's face. So going forward, I mean, Mike Schultz's not going anywhere. We all know that. Do you feel like he needs to change a little bit next year and not be as stubborn with, I don't know, things like a lineup, things with, pitching and not calling guys out, but maybe keeping a little more real here to everybody? And do you think those things need to change for Mike Schilt? Because at this point in time, I mean, he's a great regular season manager, but postseason success, it doesn't go with Mike Schilt right now.
I think it's something that we all would like if that kind of changed a little bit, but at the same time, like, I don't think that he's going to inherently change. I think that there's also we don't have any good understanding of how much influence baseball operations or the front office in general, or the conversations that are being had. I mean, I do know, and I heard this from several people going into the playoffs, the tensions were very, very, very high from, I would say the brass, or they're not even the brass, the upstairs, the off the field kind of departments, and how much of that can sometimes trickle down, how much of that can sometimes, be a little bit of an issue. And I'm not saying it was an issue, but I know it was enough for some people to talk about a little bit, and so it is going to be something that I don't know if he's going to change. I don't know how much leash he's given in terms of, I heard your thing with Jake Peavy, and it's like that is always a little frustrating to me, because if you say you have extra information, either give it or don't say that at all. But, he is, as you guys mentioned, Peavy's an ambassador of the organization. If he wants to keep his job, he's going to make sure he kind of slants toward the Padres on certain things. And I think it was really important that they pointed that out, on MLB Network. But I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. Of course he does. But, how I think that is hinting toward those decisions maybe, being more group. And Schultz has even said that. I mean, in the playoffs, we heard him say that, that was a Preller decision, or, I'm going to sit down with Preller and XYZ and we're going to talk about it and this and that. And so how much of that, is being made without him? I don't know. I know he does make the lineup, though. He does make the lineup, and the front office can definitely influence that lineup or really encourage him to go a different direction. I do wish that the whole reality of situations was a little more, was better communicated. Right. and maybe the whole. I mean, it was a bit tough this year, no doubt about it. And so. I don't know if that's going to change, though. I really don't. I think that's maybe, comes with the territory. Hey, he's going to win. He's going to give you a chance to get into the postseason. And then this is just how he is, And I think that's kind of where we're at.
Andy, real quick before you go, does it irk you as someone that writes for a living? Serious question. When Manny tells AJ Cassavell, who works for MLB.com, this is why I don't like reporters, or what he did with Jake with CBS after the season ended and the way he kind of jumped on him for a very benign question at the end of the year. I appreciate transparency and honesty. We don't get it a lot from players. Like he is who he is, but does it bother you? I mean, you're in those scrums, like to hear a player in those frank manners talk to reporters that way?
I mean, Manny is like this, and I don't agree with any of that, by the way. I do not agree with how it goes down. And I think that we've kind of become conditioned to it in a way. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It just is, as we were talking about before. Manny is there's so much of that goes on that does not make video or does not end up on social media. And it just kind of depends sometimes on, if Manny's mood, or sometimes it's honestly really funny, and Manny is someone who will give it back to you. If you ask a certain question, he'll ask you to state your facts, or he'll, kind of give you a little trash talk and make you work for it a little. And again, sometimes it can be really, really funny, and we don't mind it so much, right? And I think that Kevin has probably gotten to a point where he's just like embraced it, and I sort of have too. I think it's who Manny is. Now, does that make it right? That's another conversation. That's another. It's probably open to interpretation, open to everybody's listening and their opinions. But it's just kind of how he is. I mean, he's like that most of the time. There will be some benign press conferences with him, but for a majority of the time, you're getting a little razz and stuff like that. But I didn't think that. I don't think that those questions were bad questions or questions that you couldn't ask or anything like that. But I think some of it just might be dependent on the mood or whatnot.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Annie, appreciate it. Great job all season long. We appreciate your insight. We
do
really
you know
do.
when Preller's speaking, by the way? Do you have any insight on that?
I have zero insight on that.
Share what you know.
I don't know. Is it going to be Preller? Is it going to be Preller and Schultz? Is it going to be Preller and Schultz and Grupner? Like, what is it going to be? We don't know.
It's going to be Preller and Melvin. Annie, thank you.
Melvin, yes.
Enjoy the start of the offseason. We'll connect soon. Thanks, Annie.
Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Annie Halpern on the other side, Jim's back page. This is John and Jim. Stay with us. All right, final time, John and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. A reminder that San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances to win $1,000. Dying.
Getting choked up there? You all right?
13 chances to win $1,000 every weekday with the bonus bucks giveaway every hour, 6 a.m. through 6 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssc.com. Next chance to win $1,000 coming up at 6 p.m. in 12 minutes. All right, Phillies appear to be cooked. We have the back page coming up.
Correct.
Chiefs are cheating, by the way. They scored a touchdown.
No, they're not cheating because
No, tell me the reason.
less than a yard.
Less than a yard what?
I'm not listening, but they said that you can run the pick play there because I think like the yard.
Within a yard of the line of scrimmage, you can run a pick play in the NFL? On a pass? Don't you think that's bogus, though? The goal line, you could run that every single play.
That's why they did it.
I know. I'm like, that's a joke.
They're holding all the Chiefs were going to the refs holding up the
1 yard.
The 1 yard.
So
that's my guess is why it counted. Is because of the 1 yard thing there that they had a yard to go and they could do it.
I feel like they're cheating.
It's the Chiefs. Whatever.
It's the Chiefs. They get everything.
Yeah.
It must be great to be a Chiefs fan.
Yeah. How is it, Sammy? You little twerp. No, I'm just kidding.
Because they beat your Niners.
Yeah. A legal pick play involves an offensive player running into a defender to create space for another receiver without initiating contact more than a yard beyond the line of scrimmage.
That's insane.
So they had a yard there to work with and they could do it.
Those are rub routes they have in quotes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's much easier to do when you're a yard to the end zone.
At the 2 yard line.
2, but you can't do that like the 40.
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult.
All right, 7-0 Chiefs, 4-1 Dodgers in the 9th.
Yeah, this one's over.
Let's get to this.
Every Monday, you might be asking, I wonder what the crumble cookies of the week are.
Correct.
Well, I let everybody know every Monday at 5:45-ish. So you're welcome.
Right.
The crumble cookies of the week, John.
Yeah.
First one, Benson Boone's Moonbeam Ice Cream Cookie. Do you have any clue who Benson Boone is?
No.
Of course I do. The big booster that supports Oklahoma State.
Yeah, not close.
Is he related to Brett Boone?
No. He is a musical artist. And his song Moonbeam Ice Cream is, I think that's what it's called. It's a pretty big hit right now.
Must be a hit.
It
If
is
they're
a
making
hit.
cookies about it.
Yeah. Biscoff Pie Cookie, which is a new one.
Mm-hmm.
A Blue Monster Cookie featuring Chips Ahoy.
Okay.
Sure, sign me up. A Brookie Cookie. Absolutely. A Raspberry Butter Cake Cookie. Of course, why not? A Churro Cookie. Yeah, duh.
Right.
A milk chocolate chip cookie, and then a secret menu item cookie at your local crumble wherever you go.
They sound good. I need like a sports theme though. Like I need like an MLB playoff cookie, or like a Jags Chiefs cookie. Like I need.
You want a Dodger dog flavored cookie?
No. I don't need that. Don't need that.
So Taylor Swift's new album, "The Life of a Showgirl,"
Help me.
was released on Wednesday last week. No, Thursday, the 3rd. Whenever the 3rd was, 3 days.
Crickets.
3 days ago. Yeah.
Does
Okay.
anyone even listen to that thing?
Well, it was it sold a record 2.7 million copies
Bots
in the U.S. on the first day alone.
bots.
Okay.
Russian bots.
Her record company bought it.
Also, one of her songs, I forget which song it was, but it might have been "The Fate of Ophelia." It had a record like 60 million listens on Spotify, breaking a record that she previously had from one of her old songs.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just blowing up right now.
It's big.
It's
a
big.
Taylor Swift album is popular.
I think it is.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's neat.
I think it is.
Surprise.
Yeah. And finally, the first supermoon of the year is here, John.
Okay.
You know what a supermoon is?
It's like a big moon.
Yeah, I mean, yes,
Right?
technically it is. Yeah. So a supermoon, it's 14% bigger and 30% brighter than the faintest moon of the year. The reason why is because the moon is closer to the Earth in its orbit.
So how close does it get?
Well, John, it doesn't say exactly how close it is. It just says it's closer to the Earth than it normally is. And because of that, it's 14% bigger and 30% brighter when we look up at the sky at it. And it only happens 3 times a year. This is the third.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look up tonight and you say, wow, the moon is massive, it's called a supermoon tonight.
There are times where you look at the moon and you're like, that thing's got to be like a mile away. Like it can be huge in the sky.
It can be.
It looks like it's right up on top of you.
Well,
I think it's trying to prove its purpose. Like, hey, look at that. Look at me. Don't forget about me.
I don't think the moon has a conscience, but hey, we've been proven wrong before.
Trying to be like,
look at me.
Don't
everybody.
sleep on me.
I don't think so.
It's like those old McDonald's commercials. It's live. It winks at us.
That's right.
You know what's crazy too is the moon is pretty far away, right? And when you look up at the sky tonight and you see how big it is, look, it's going to feel like it's right on top of us.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was closer to us.
How big would it be?
Yeah, dude.
That would be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
What if we were right next to each other? And it was only like
would probably mess things up.
10,000 feet.
I don't know.
Right up on us.
Because it wouldn't work because the gravity of Earth would suck the moon and it would collide with us and we'd be dead. It's my guess.
Yeah, that's my guess. That's my guess.
Bonus story. 3i Atlas, the unknown interstellar object from out of our galaxy solar system, is passing, or it did just pass by Mars this past week. And telescopes that were on Mars, or at least rovers that were on Mars, have all caught glimpses of 3i Atlas. And still, astronomers and people at NASA have no clue what it is.
They're blind by 3i?
No, that's the name of the comet or meteor or whatever it is. It's an interstellar object.
And we don't know what it is.
No, which lends, obviously, people to think aliens, but I don't think it's alien. Because, yeah, I just think that there's, like, what it's made of, we've never seen before. It's like not even on the periodic table.
When's it getting closer to us?
In about a month. That's when it's going to pass by the sun and then make its trip out of our galaxy and solar system.
All right, so put in your calendar to tune into the back page a month from today for an update.
If we're still here.
Hey, if we're still here, unless 3i Atlas changes course and it's really an alien object and it comes and kills us all.
I would say unlikely.
Probably.
All right, if you missed anything today, sportsst.com, iHeartRadio app, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Spotify. If you're listening to John and Jim on a podcast platform, please leave a review. For Brent and Jim, I'm John. Keep it here at San Diego Sports 760. Peace.
Okay, bye.